Meowdy, konnichiwa, Corolla, hello, hello. If my fire alarm goes off, do not panic. I swear it's fine. It went off twice. earlier. Don't worry about it. Anyway, hi. No, not arson. Just fried foods. Smoke alarm not happy. Yeah, no, it's because we replaced the batteries. They're very not happy. They will not be silent anymore. They have decided it is time to scream or something. I don't know. And also, I love how VG Studio decided to change everything again. So hopefully everything's all right. It's fine. It's fine. Might be time for new ones. It's because they're new.
Sei Sou, let's go.
Thank you for the 20 months, Sander. But yeah, no, it's because it's new. I think that the old ones were so bad that they didn't really... Because, okay, so like, I have a lot of stir fry in my house. That tends to be smoky. So, yeah. Last time on Ace Attorney Z, I was brain rotting, and I've been brain rotting this whole week. Like, cause I've been thinking a lot. And like, it's the final case, you know? And industrial Chinese kitchen fence, honestly, yes. Smoke alarm with no battery. Feed me! Smoke alarm with battery. I have energy now, hear me. Hello. That is exactly correct. That is... Oh. Oh no, don't join the smoke alarm. It doesn't need extra help, it's quite loud. The house is on fire! No, it's not. There's smoke, I can smell it! It's barely there. It's over there! It's just me screaming like, guys, there's a fire! Go get it! Don't make it a competition! You will not win! Fire alarms are real loud! It's just the northern lights. Yeah, it's from the steamed hams we're making. A building-wide fire alarm test without I'm so sorry. That friggin' sucks. I remember in my dorms when I was on campus and like they had a fire alarm test at like 1 in the morning. It was not a legit like thing. It was just a test and they just ran it at 1 in the morning and like, God, that was awful. And there were people who had like just come out fresh out of the shower too, and it's just like, I feel so bad for them. They ran out in like a towel. Man. Oh yeah. Aurora Borealis at this time of year, at this time of day, in this specific part of the country, localized entirely within our kitchen. Yes. Can we see it? No. Anyway. Right. But yeah, I have been thinking about this case. And like, so first of all, the assassin exchange program is really ridiculous, which you realize also that Britain gave Japan a full-fledged assassin, actual murderer, has a resume, you know? And like, Japan sends over a law student. And like, I feel like the scales are a little uneven here. Ace Attorney version of steamed hams? Oh no, someone's definitely done it. There's a ghost trick version of steamed hams. Like, full-fledged, someone made a fake level and everything. I'm pretty sure Ace Attorney exists as well. There's a bunch of steamed hams, like, high-effort edits. Yeah, it's all Strongheart. It's all Strongheart, but I also do think now, I think that Jigoku is the one who killed Gregson. I really do think that. Cause like, there was no one else in that room, and like, the guy looks like a Yakuza character. I guess that's not really much of anything, but it's also because of his name. Jigoku is no longer the best judge in my eyes, because as neat as he was, as cool as he was, he is also Judge Hell for a reason. And like, if he is the reason that Kazuma has gone through all of this strife, I'm about to throw hands. I have not tried them yet. I fought them, I haven't tried them yet. But, yeah, I really do think that that's the case. I'm also, because the professor case is gonna come up at some point. I am trying to think who the professor is, and I think it's either, I have two options in my head right now. Either it's Clint Van Zieks, or it's Jigoku. And the reason I say Clint Van Zieks is because I remembered offhand, off stream, that the autopsy report for Clint was a stab wound, which is weird because the professor notoriously, very notoriously, mauled people with a dog. So, that means that either, Genshin Asogi, killed him in self-defense, or Jigoku was behind this somehow. I don't know. I have been thinking. I have been pulling up like a corkboard and red string all over the place. We need to ask if they had a dog. You're absolutely right. But here's the other thing. Both of them would have access to dogs because they both work with the police department. And the police department has dogs. I mean, we've seen Toby, best boy Toby, but like, if it wasn't, you know, a cute best boy, like, I don't know. Who let the dogs out? That's the question we need to answer. Dog learned to use knife. No, that's not what happened. Unless. But, yeah. So, I think that this will be interesting. I also was wondering, like, I think the chances that Kazuma brought Yunosuke to be a fall guy is incredibly low. I don't think that that's what happened. I personally think that... Okay, so I'm here just gesturing at a fake PowerPoint or like something, but oh, they haven't officially used dogs, but Toby exists. But yeah, so when I think of Jigoku, I think of this particular story. If anyone's heard about it, the Spiders thread, it's like, what is it? Gist of it is, guy gets sent to hell. He is given a spider thread to climb out of hell, and as he's climbing, other people are climbing up as well. He tells them to get lost, and then the thread breaks. Idea is the allegory for the thread is like a second chance, like a last second chance before you're like, you know, lost forever, sort of a thing. I think that's what's happening with Kazuma. I think that he thinks he's beyond saving, and he's like self-destructing very badly. And I think that he brought Ryunosuke because the guy is this beacon of like moral goodness and like is kind of like a last chance for him. Has the Hound of the Baskervilles become relevant yet? It's gonna! So like, that's what I think is happening, and also like, for someone who says, oh yeah, I would definitely murder to achieve my goals, was really willing to throw every single bit of it away to make sure that Ryunosuke got out of that first case. So yeah, I personally don't think that he was set up to be like a fall guy. Other than that, the other thing is, I don't think that Kazuma is as like gung-ho, I will do anything to fulfill this thing as Jigoku is making it out to be. Because realistically, if someone comes up to you and is like, hey, you want to be an assassin for a scholarship? If you say no to that, they're probably going to kill you. So like, I don't think he had much of a choice. Anyway, that's just thoughts that I had. Yeah, like, you can't just go up to someone and be like, hey kid, want to do some murder? Like, yeah, like, best case scenario, you aren't allowed out of Japan anymore. You can't go to Britain and fulfill your goals because the guy's literally in charge of that department. Worst case scenario, he kills you and all of your loved ones because he knows all of them. Oops. Where do you sign up? Don't! Murder is bad. We're here to establish that. Free tuition? Why would I say no? Is it really free if it costs a life? What is the price of a life? So yeah, let's... Mr. Weedle murder? No. No murder, no tweet. Let's go on back to the Old Bailey. Let's see how this goes. I need to remember what he was saying. I'm just gonna press everything.
Hold it!
Murder is hot take. Hear me out. Murder is, generally speaking, wrong. I do agree with that. I'm gonna agree with your scalding take right now. It's only true if Jigoku was the one that approached Kazuma. It sounded like it was. The way that Jigoku worded it, he said that Kazuma was selected, and then he was the one who brought up to Kazuma, hey, you wanna do some murder? You wanna be an assassin? That's what it sounded like. Because, like, Kazuma doesn't know who Gregson is. Has no reason to target that man. But Jigoku, if he was the professor, or was trying to tie up loose ends from the professor case, that's one of them. Wilson was one of them, Gregson is one of them, Kazuma is one of them. And I think that's why he sent a law student rather than an actual assassin. What if Jigoku was hiding in Gregson's suitcase? No. Oh, no, no, no. But we do know who was in a suitcase. Oh, we certainly do. Look, it's me and the fam. It's me, Susato, her dad, Judge Jigoku, and Gregson! Wow! Crazy! That's what I ended on last time. My realization that he was in the suitcase the whole time. He was already dead in there. No. No, he was alone in that suitcase. The 6-foot fishy body pillow. No! I don't even think he was 6 feet tall. Anyway, because the so-called guard posted at your cabin door had just let your killer pass, you mean? Apparently, Gregson told the crewman he was a police inspector, which was the truth, of course. He wouldn't have had his identification with him, though. He had his trench coat and a mustache, not to mention the bag of chips. I imagine the crewman was What does the bag of chips prove? But the man accompanying him would have had 2 swords slung around his waist. You mean me? Who else? Oh my god, you're absolutely right. He definitely didn't clean out that suitcase given that the watch top was still in there. Oh no, he's stinky. Guys, get the dog. Maybe he smells like Gregson's corpse. Oh god, that's so awful. I hate it here. Yes, that's true. You would have hoped the sight of a few swords might have set off alarm bells in the guard's head. Oh, fish and chips is probably the better option. But also, corpses are stinky. The point is, I left the cabin before its occupant returned, and I immediately disembarked the ship. Certainly, all I can tell you is that only the inspector was waiting for me when I arrived back at my cabin. And you entered without any inkling of suspicion. That's right, none whatsoever. I'm just a little guy.
Hold it!
Okay, yeah, I do remember reading this out loud. Obviously, you're talking about Inspector Gregson. Yes, though at the time I didn't know the man's name. So weird, given that, you know, you were part of the Professor case and he was definitely the inspector in the Professor case, but I guess it's been 10 years. Oh no, I'm just a little judge, uwu. Yeah. Yeah, you are, sure. And there was no time for introductions. I value my life over manners. By which you mean that the inspector was there to assassinate you, I suppose. That was certainly the impression given by the gun pointing in my direction. But I've never seen the muzzle of a revolver shake about so much in all my life. Anyone would think the man had never shot somebody before. We've all done it, am I right, guys? Why are you all quiet? Believe it or not, most of us have. Oh wait, no, that that connects way too well with my joke. That sounds like a believable response. He was going to shoot me, but he was a damn coward! Anyway, there was no time to call for the help of the crewman at the door, so I dealt with the man myself. Bang! So you admit it! You killed him! I remember my first murder like it was yesterday. There was a dog involved, and oh wait, maybe I shouldn't. Hold it! Even though the man had a gun. That was a very brave move, wasn't it? My Ippon is far faster than a bullet, I can assure you. Yeah? You want to demonstrate that? You? No, it isn't. But surely all that commotion caused the crewman to come in, didn't it? Yes, of course. He burst in immediately without knocking. The inspector hurled himself at the stocky fellow and just managed to slip past him to make his escape. The outstanding guard does it again. Luckily, there aren't many situations I can't get out of using a quick Ippon Seoi throw. Are you sure about this? I don't believe you. The crown snapped off, and the glass covering the face of the watch was cracked. Preferable to the man's head being pulled off or spine cracking, what did you say? Aren't I funny? I'm just a little judge. Not that the man was spared for long. A bullet to the chest soon saw to that. But the point is, the broken pocket watch doesn't prove that a murder took place. Absolutely not. All the watch proves is the power of my jujutsu throw. Whatever you say, it doesn't quite ring true that no shot was fired in that cabin. Because there was an obvious bullet hole in the wall. What are you talking about? That's what the star of your lowbrow detective stories told you, is it? Well, I don't care for such fiction. Okay, so, like, anyone who disrespects Sholmes is immediately on my hit list. Like, in this particular matter. Bullying is fine. This is not that. Haven't you worked it out yet, you little stripling? No murder took place in my cabin. Hold it! But there's no evidence that proves the victim ever returned to London alive. Just take a moment to think that idea of yours through now, stripling. Why do you keep calling me that? What? If the inspector was killed on the steamship in France, oh, how on earth could he have got back to Britain? In the suitcase! When people die, their bodies remain at the same spot. It's a devil of a thing. Well, then, obviously the culprit must have moved the body. How, exactly? A suitcase! Carrying a corpse off a ship in your arms would raise a few eyebrows at least, don't you think? Well, yes, that's true, but... all passenger luggage is inspected when it is unloaded from arriving vessels, and I would like to think the border police would query the corpse of an English gentleman as hand luggage. If the murder had taken place aboard the ship, you would imagine the body would have been disposed of at sea. Unless they were trying to frame Van Zieks. There would be no sense in risking being caught by attempting to transport the body back to Britain. But framing. Different motivation. Let's kill that idea then. But perhaps not! Miss Susato? We've heard that the first-class passengers were under constant scrutiny by the crewman posted to guard them. Which would mean that the culprit had no opportunity to dispose of the body in the sea. Oh, that too. Yes, that's true. So, transporting the body to Britain may have been the only viable alternative. Dear me, you really are new to this, aren't you? I'm gonna throw you into the Thames. I thought I'd been perfectly clear, but it seems I'm going to have to explain it in words you can understand. It's really going out of the way to frame Van Zeek's? Okay, but like, when you spend 10 years hyping up some, like, mythos of the Reaper haunting this man, you gotta go really extra to, like, set him up to take the fall for that. I think I ought to alter my testimony, with your consent, of course, my lord. I have no objection. State your amended testimony now. There's no possible way I could have transported the victim's corpse back to Britain. Unless you used the chest! The suitcase! Here's the thing. Would I be able... Would this be the evidence that I need to prove that? The Greg case, no! Whatever. Suits, yeah. Oh, we are pulling that out right now. There's no possible way you could have moved Inspector Gregson's body, you say. No, we don't have the suitcase. That's a different one. I would say the opposite is true. And what's that supposed to mean? Blam. Far from being impossible for you to do, the transporting of Inspector Gregson's body back to Britain is something only you could do. What are you talking about, Ryunosuke? Well as being a judge, Mr. Jikoku is also Japan's Minister of Foreign Affairs. Which means he's exempt from having his luggage searched when he enters the country. Do I throw my compatriot under the bus? Anyway. We learned that when we first met you upon your arrival in London. I actually don't remember that detail, but that's fine. Well, all those passport checks and luggage searches at the border took rather a lot of time. I must say I'm very envious of your ministerial status. You didn't have to go through any of that, did you? I knew you were jealous. I presume you recall this, Judge Jikoku. Hey look, it's Gregson! It's a photograph we took in the foyer of the hotel to mark the occasion. As the court will note, you have with you your large travel trunk. Large enough, in fact, to have a corpse inside. Mr. Naruhodo, surely you're not suggesting... I'm afraid I am. Yes. 3 days ago, when we were chatting innocently with the new arrivals from Japan in the hotel, the body of Inspector Gregson was just meters away from us, inside Judge Jikoku's trunk. Oh my god, that's so screwed up! That's so messed up! Order in court! I'm skeptical, counsel, that a grown man's body could fit inside even the largest travel... Oh, we did that, Jikoku did that. We've proven that it's possible. It could. Because I happen to know that the witness himself, a man of considerable size, fits inside the trunk. And verifying that would be extremely simple, wouldn't it, Judge Jikoku? Get in the box! But inside his trunk, how horrifying. And after we'd spoken with you at the Great Waterloo Hotel, you had the opportunity to visit the apparent scene on Fresno Street, taking your trunk with you in a cab to deposit the inspector's body. I don't have to listen to this nonsense! Dr. Gori, the coroner who examined the body, has confirmed the possibility. She's acknowledged there are signs that steps may have been taken to disguise the true time of death. The onset of the body's decomposition could have been delayed by storing it in a refrigerator. Counsel, as I remember explaining yesterday, refrigerators of the requisite size are few and far between. Yes, I'm sure they are. But one place they're certainly found is on large ocean liners. Yeah, keep trying to defend him. Oh, try. I will tear you down. Such ships are equipped with electrically refrigerated cold rooms to keep food fresh on their long sea voyages. And the SS Grouse is no exception. Professor Mikotoba told me about it only yesterday. Well, Judge Jigoku. However much you prolong this debate, you can't eliminate the truth. All the evidence points to you being the killer. Well, this is all very heartening. What do you mean? I can see that it was a wise move, letting Asogi and you embark on this study tour. What are you talking about now? Oh, my nose is like very stuffed sounding. Ah, well. Logical reasoning, of course. All court proceedings will be built on logical reasoning in the new century. As opposed to illogical? Well, actually, no, considering. And I can see that you've both laid firm foundations for that already. Are you admitting to it? Oh my god, is he admitting to this? Judge Jigoku, please! Stop diverting attention from the issue at hand! Did you do it? The defense has made an accusation against you. How do you respond? Respond? Well, there's really no need for me to respond, is there? Why ever not? Because before you can even begin to answer the question of when the victim was killed, you must first establish one key fact. Where was the victim killed? Oh, it's quite logical. The actual scene of the crime. The prosecution's stance is unaltered. The killing took place on Fresno Street when the gunshot was heard. As the accused, Barak Van Zeeks, shot the victim at point-blank range. Since no tangible evidence... There was a bullet hole! There was a bullet hole in the room! What do you want me to do? Just recreate the scene? This isn't Miles Edgeworth. Investigations? That was the full name of the game. Since no tangible evidence exists to disprove the prosecution's claim at this time, the defense's deductions amount to little more than an elaborate fairy tale. I'm afraid that's how the logical reasoning the British are known for really works, young stripling. Is this why Miles Edgeworth's power was gambling? Or gambling? Oh my god, chat has infected me. Was not gambling, logical reasoning. Holy moly. This is all your fault. The victim was shot in that little room on Fresno Street and died instantly. No, it's not gambling. Shush. Shutty. I'm afraid it's the prosecution's claim. That's the only fairy tale here. Shoot. I'm never gonna live that down. You missed that game. Yeah, it was the side game. It was the gacha, actually, that never got released ever. How can you say that? Quite simply. Because that claim directly contradicts a certain piece of evidence in our possession. Wait, what evidence? Very tantalizing, Count. No, only one person gets to call Ryunosuke tantalizing. I think you had better explain yourself to the court, don't you? The prosecution claims that Inspector Gregson died instantly when he was shot at the scene on Fresno Street. But this evidence clearly contradicts that claim. Please hold. Please hold. Died instantly. Died instantly. It can't be this again, right? Can't be the watch thing again. Died instantly. Died instantly. Cause like, this candle is sus and stuff, but like, I don't know if What did it say on the autopsy? Nope, instantly died. What contradicts that? What contradicts that? Ah! Okay. He died instantly, yeah. It is interesting that he was curled up, and... because, like, initially that made me think that he was shot in the stomach, which is not correct. Is there something here? No. What proves that it wasn't there, besides the watch, which I have clearly used too many times? I keep using the watch. Should I save? Okay, I'll save. Why was Gregson caked up? Well, why is everybody buff in this game, you know? Either they are visibly buff or secretly buff. Like, I really just want to use the watch again because it proves that he was in the trunk. Like, just straight up, he was there. But I guess that means that, okay. If he died instantly... wouldn't be this. Long arm of the law lifts. Oh, shoot, you're right. Rigor mortis. No, exactly. I guess it... would that be enough justification? If you die instantly, you wouldn't curl up like a beetle, right? I mean, yeah, no, I guess I can try that. I can try the rigor mortis thing because otherwise, like, I'm just gonna go back to the watch again because I keep doing that like a fool, a foolishly foolish fool.
Take that!
Okay. You just gotta do the flop. A photograph of the victim in the very location you claim he wasn't killed. Also, I will say, if anyone has played this game, I swear, I'll struggle through it, but I'll get there eventually. Me coming up with conspiracy theories is part of the fun. At points at a weird red string and corkboard thing again. Current theory, Jikoku was the professor. Or Clint Van Zieks was. I don't know. One of the two. Or both. Fuck, I don't know. Yes. But the point is the posture of the body itself. You can't remember everything? Yeah, that's a big mood. Like, that's me with, like, Spirit of Justice. I've played it. I definitely know, like, some of the twists, but, like, I can't for the life of me remember anything else, so I could probably replay it and it would still be a new playthrough. Hearing my theories? Yeah, I have really off-the-wall theories sometimes, but, like... Gasp. If Inspector Gregson had been shot there in that room, well, it's out of the question that his body would have been curled up in a ball like that. He's not a beetle. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but your logic is flawed. He could easily have adopted the fetal position due to the pain of the shot, which subsequently proved fatal.
Objection!
I'm sorry to disappoint you, Judge Tsukoku, but it's your logic that is flawed. You like Spirit of Justice better? I haven't played Dual Destinies, so, I mean, yeah, I don't remember anything from that game either. That's so weird. What? According to this autopsy report, the victim died instantly. He would have felt no pain, much less have been able to draw himself into that position. Ah! Which begs the question of why the victim's body is curled up in that way. Though the answer should be abundantly clear by now. You're suggesting... The inspector's body took on that posture ahead of its arrival on Fresno Street, before it was coldly turned out on the floor, from the inside of a large travel trunk. Very coldly, in fact. Refrigerated, in fact. God, that's so messed up. No! You're quite right! The shape of the body... It looks exactly as if it had been kept in a confined space. He's been scrunched! He's been squished! Judge Jigoku, present your trunk for examination. I believe it's very possible that it will contain traces of the victim's blood. Ugh. Do it, coward. Present my trunk, I refuse! What? On what grounds? I'm the Minister of Foreign Affairs from the Empire of Japan. I shouldn't have to put up with this treatment just because of some stripling's baseless accusations. I really want to see him break the witness stand again. In other words, Judge Jigoku, there is blood in your trunk. And blood on your hands. Metaphorically, probably. Truck? Oh, God. I decline to answer that. As the Minister of Foreign Affairs, I have privileges that allow me to. You do not have diplomatic immunity! At this moment, you're not a government minister. You are a witness in a trial in Britain's highest court. I don't care who you are, or what your status outside this courtroom might be, you will not withhold information. I am so proud of Ryunosuke. You remember how he was in the beginning? And he was so scared and nervous? Look at him now, facing the Minister of Foreign Affairs and telling him to suck it up. Nothing is more important than the truth. Do it, coward. He grew up, I'm so proud. Order. Order in court. Well, Mr. Jigoku, what's it to be? What you gonna do, mate? What you gonna do, Judge Hell? You can't be serious. You did it? Ooh. Oh yeah, no, Strongheart is absolutely... I've been saying that Strongheart did the Professor case, is doing the Reaper stuff, is doing all of this, organized and orchestrated every single bit of this since, like, the first game. I have been saying that this whole time, and I'm so ready to slam him over the head with my corkboard covered in red string. It's fine. Anyway. Have you no shame at all, Kazuma Asogi? What? If you try to pin it on him, I'm going to throw you into the Thames. Very well. I admit it. Don't break it, we need it. No, we don't! I did bring the inspector's body into... He's gonna say that Kazuma killed him. He's gonna say that Kazuma killed him. I'm going to fight you. I will lose, but I don't care. Through the power of pure gumption and wrath. Inside my trunk, exactly as postulated by the defense. What? You... Dear God, outrageous. Truly, I never would have thought of that. Impossible. Ha ha ha. If Strongheart coerced him? I don't think Strongheart coerced him at this point. I really don't think so. It's why I'm like, maybe he was the professor at some point, rather than Clint Van Zieks. Because initially I thought it was Clint Van Zieks because, like, you know, the murder stopped after he died, and, like, something, I don't know. But now I think it was him. Also, I totally missed that. So it was you. You admit to Inspector Gregson's... No, I admit to nothing more than what I've said. He's gonna say that Kazuma did it! I am going, Of killing the man, I certainly have no recollection. That's the sussest way to put that. What on earth is that? Okay, that is... Okay, I do agree with him on this one point. What on earth is that cryptic statement supposed to mean? I merely disposed of the inspector's body, which was left in my cabin, in order to avoid unwanted attention. As the judicial assistant over there pointed out, I had no chance to throw it into the ocean. So, I decided my only option was to bring it into Britain with me and dispose of it somewhere else. You can't still deny it. If you didn't do it, then who on earth did kill the man? As you know, there was one other person in my cabin that night. He had the opportunity. I knew you would do it. I knew you would do it. You jerk pulling in a grieving law student into this from the beginning, threatening him, essentially, and now you're doing this. Okay. This is war. He's not gonna say Susato's dad. He's gonna say Kazuma, and frankly, this is war. And moreover, he had already accepted a mission to take the inspector's life. Oh. I'm fighting him. One-on-one. 1v1. That's right, who else could it have been? It was you, Kazuma Asogi. Internally, the fuck? You. I never thought you'd stoop to this, Seishiro Jigoku. You've taken the words straight out of my mouth. Prosecutor Kazuma Asogi. You thought by leaving the body in my cabin you could pin the crime on me, did you? Well, the prosecution counsel has already admitted to visiting the witness's cabin on the night in question. Why would he have used a gun then? He had 2 swords! Yeah, we're defending Van Zeeks and Kazuma. I told you that Kazuma was gonna get framed for something. I didn't expect it to be like this. But I knew. They were both Edgeworths. They were both the Edgeworths we met along the way. We made along the way. It's fine. Because if he cut him, he'd be implicated. But then where'd he get the gun? Where'd the gun go? Well, the prosecution counsel has already admitted to visiting the... Oh, I already said that. Yes, on an assassination mission, no less. You wouldn't. So, what do you make of that, young stripling? You're a liar! You've heard my testimony now, and that's all I have to say on the matter. I'll admit to nothing more. I don't believe you. I don't believe this. I'm just gonna say that was very said confidently, not like, very like, I don't believe this. No, it's, I don't believe you. You are lying. Counsel for the defense. What is your position now? The court awaits your response to the witness's assertion. The assertion that on the night in question, the victim's assailant was in fact Mr. Kazuma Asogi. Huh. This isn't the dead end it seems to be. The answer's right in front of me. It comes down to Jigoku or Kazuma, and I know who I choose! He bit his gun instead of the fish and chips, oh my god. Both of them had the opportunity to kill Gregson, but only one of them did it. I'm just a step away from proving who. Imagine just having to defend the client and the prosecutor. Yeah, that's just... sometimes it be that way. Very well. The defense is ready to respond to the assertion put forward by Judge Jigoku. The idea that the victim's murder could have been committed by Prosecutor Asogi is impossible! Absolutely not! Judge Jigoku, let me remind you of something you said only a few minutes ago. You claimed that logical reasoning is the future of the judicial process. It is, no question. Oh my god, our client is a prosecutor, and we are saving all of the prosecutors. We're saving half of the legal system in Britain, apparently. Well, logical reasoning can prove something here. You're full of shit. Namely, that it would have been impossible for Prosecutor Asogi to commit the crime. What? I am throwing you the strongest freaking threat to get you out of hell. The court will only accept an argument that is supported by compelling evidence. So present what you have, counsel. What proof is there that allegedly demonstrates the impossibility of Prosecutor Asogi's involvement? I mean... the proof is in the pudding? I don't have pudding in my evidence, dang it! Logical reasoning is the future. Meanwhile, spirit mediums. Well, I mean, there's logic in there. And, as we've learned in Spirit of Justice, dead testimony is pretty unreliable. Okay. Cause like... what proves that it couldn't have been him? Yeah, they're there for additional... They're expert witnesses, basically. We're losing the trial if we don't have blooding. Ah, dang it. Cause like, I would think it has to do with the sword, right? And also the fact that like... Well, I guess that's just the gun that was found at the scene of the crime, so it might not have been the gun that was used. We don't have... Yeah, I was thinking it was gonna be the sword because like... Well, either the sword or the trunk, because it has the sword piece in it. Like, I know there's blood here. Time to save? No, that's fine. We have extra penalties. We'll be okay. It's either this one or the sword, I feel like. I just don't know which one. Side note, I really, really love this soundtrack. God, Prelude to Pursuit is such a good theme. It's so good. I might just wait here just a little bit, just to enjoy it a little longer. It's really nice. Okay, I think it probably is. Let's go with the trunk first. Are you sure I can't? I don't know, I feel like it would let me, because it's definitely let me before. I'll take a look at it again. I'm pretty sure I have to open it first. Open it, please. Oh wait, have I re-examined this since it... I might not have okay, you know what? That's a good call. The tip of Karuma. So, this is how it was broken. Okay, yeah, wait, this might give me something. Kazuma's swordsmanship is second to none. I can't believe he'd misjudge it like that.
Clearly, he wasn't in his right mind. He didn't have full control of the power in his stroke. Too distracted by malicious thoughts, perhaps.
Well, that wouldn't be surprising. After all, he was on an assassination mission. Okay. Have you seen this huge gash? Okay, I think I've seen this before. Yeah, this is the same. It's interesting because he slashed this, it broke, and then he brought the rest of it down here. By the way, side note, him breaking the metaphorical allegory for his soul is like, again, he's lost sight of himself and we need to save him. Can I look at this again? Dark stain? Do you think?
Yes, I'm afraid so. I think it's blood.
I knew you were gonna say that. So that presumably means...
that this was present at the scene when Inspector Gregson was killed. It's the most logical conclusion, yes.
To think Gina's been carrying this around with her. If you didn't know any better, I suppose it does look like a grease stain from all the fish and chips. And I think I've examined this, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did. I'm gonna present the trunk first. That's not the correct button.
Take that!
Okay, you know what? Getting it wrong is funny. You're making the evidence weep here. Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Okay, I'll do the sword now. Sorry. Every piece of evidence has a role to play in arriving at the truth. Okay, you don't need to backseat me. They're not playthings you can toss around the courtroom for entertainment. Okay.
Never mind the evidence. You're about to make me weep, Mr. Naruhodo.
Oh, no. I can't upset Susato-san, or I'll end up being upset too, and everyone's gonna cry, and it's gonna be awful. Okay, we know a member of the crew was on sentry duty outside the first-class cabins nearly all the time. So, as long as the guard was there, it would have been impossible to fire a shot without it being heard. And that very much narrows down when the crime could have been committed. Oh, okay, wait. Okay, that's actually a very good hint. The court will, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Let me look at this again, just to time frame. So, 10 o'clock, and will take 20 minutes. So 10:20. That is the only window of opportunity that this could have happened. Where and when was Kazuma? When was Kazuma? That's the real question. Cause like, this isn't gonna help. That's just that. Okay. Why was Kazuma? Oh, well, he certainly got that question on in spades. What is Kazuma? Our bestie, our partner. Collectively everyone's partner, I guess. We're all collectively Ryunosuke now. Will I finish the final case today? I don't know. I have no idea how long this is. When was he? How do I have proof of when he was? Kazuma, where were you? I mean, this is like, we don't have time of death, and that's fine. Ryunosuke. Do I have anything that proves where he was? No. Is there anything on here that, like, is just like, oh, Van Zeke's apprentice is doing something. Oh, huh. Smallpox vaccine. That's neat. Doctors, however, warn that there appears to be the beginning of yet another cholera epidemic on the horizon. Although the cause of such outbreaks remains unclear, the public is strongly advised to drink only water which has previously been boiled. That's interesting. Huh. Okay, that's entirely beside the point. I just got distracted. Okay, what proves where Kazuma was at 10 to 10:20? When was he? Because there's not much that has to do with him. This is not going to be related yet. I can also get it from undercooked seafood. Ooh, shoot, gotta avoid British sushi. The professor stuff is not going to be necessary. This isn't going to be helpful. The sword? I guess I can try the sword. It's the only thing that really relates to Kazuma. But like, I don't know how it would establish a time frame. I mean, we do know that like, it's weird that he missed so badly, so I might as well try it. I have 3 more penalties. Am I gonna weep again? Yeah, okay. So, it's not the sword. I didn't think it was after that little hint. But it's fine. We get to make everyone weep a little bit. It's fine. We can make Haruma weep too. Okay. Everyone's crying in the club. Anyway. Hey, nice. Wait a second. Oh, no, that's just from him. For a second, I was just like, wait a second, does that mean that Hosanaka was there to ensure that the assassination thing went through? Oh, not Best Boy Hosanaka. Maybe if okay, I didn't look at the passport. I don't think it would help me. But I might as well take a look at every piece of evidence, see if there's anything new that came out. October 31st, so this passport is for the day before Gregson's body was found. He needed this document for his trip to France. And when it says permission for the applicant and 1 additional person to travel, I can't believe it was you, Kazuma. Wait, why can't I look at it again? What? Why isn't it checking off? Why are you still blue? Why are you not blue with checkmark? That's very strange to me. Is there something else about this? Is that a little glitch? Okay. I mean, yeah, this isn't anything. I'm just gonna go through every piece of evidence now. I've definitely looked at this. Unsheath sword. I might spend the break just kind of combing through evidence some more, just because I don't want to waste everyone's time. No, okay. It would be funny if I pulled on it again. Within 1 week. Has nothing to do with this right now. For right now. Oh, maybe I should just waste Chast's time. That's true. And it's weird that, like, it's still blue. Maybe it's, like, a piece of evidence that I haven't, like, looked at? Ah, why? What's wrong with it? Is there something else in here? Just shake it. Yeah. That's later. Probably to make Kazuma sad, because of course. And this has nothing to do with it because we've already established that he did in fact bring the body. Did I look at the top part of the case? I guess not. Hold on. Oh, there's nothing to look at, unfortunately. Inside, yes, I did do that. I did do a brief scan on that. Oh, I thought I could open it from there. I have to go over here. Open. I mean, this also wouldn't have anything to do with anything. Might as well just look at everything again. The Scotland Yard insignia looks genuine to me.
And the department and identification number details are all correct as well. There's no doubt that this really is Inspector Gregson's identification.
Okay. That's about all we get from this little number. This little doohickey. Right? The glass over the face really is badly cracked. Look.
What a shame when the inspector clearly looked after it so carefully.
I imagine Mr. Sholmes could repair it, don't you? Oh, yeah, I've seen this. What is being a detective if not being an odd job man? Alright. Let's see. So this is where the little policeman figurine's key goes in to wind the watch. Winding it up every single day for 10 years without fail.
Yes, it was obviously a thing of great importance to the inspector.
Or a reminder of the past, lest you forget. Sheesh. What's the time on the watch? It stopped at 5. We do know that it's apparently going again, so. This does not help us. Can I blow things up? This has nothing to do with anything. Blow it up, blow it up, blow it up.
Have you had an idea, Mr. Naruhodo? You're staring at the end of the string of fireworks.
Sorry, it's just that it's the Venus special. I was wondering what 600 pence worth of fireworks would sound like.
Shall we find out?
Oh, yeah, okay, I already did this. Bang! Fires another firecracker in the courtroom. Everyone like, what are you doing? It sounded like a gunshot. Okay. Nothing on here. Alright. We are going through this one by one. I mean, I've already seen this, but just to make sure.
Oh. Oh no!
Oh no! A smudge! A bloody handprint! Ah! Okay, yeah, I've seen this. We don't need this anymore. And there's something else here. It wouldn't have to do with that at all. You know what? Victim was shot in the chest at close range from the front, resulting in instant death, scorch marks at point of entry. I mean, the bullet— ah! I didn't know I could swipe. Okay. Standard issue firearms for members of the judiciary. Prosecutors get guns. Van Zeeks has one. I don't know if an apprentice would. This doesn't help. This was the fire— ah! Swipe right on Gregson. So the candle was used as a sort of timer device to set off the firecrackers. It's a really ingenious idea, though. Obviously, it was a shame it was used for such a wicked purpose.
I wonder if there aren't some more positive uses for a timer device such as that. Oh, I have the perfect application. It would be a wonderful way of waking you in the mornings, Mr. Naruhodo.
I think I prefer that you continue to wake me in person, if it's all the same to you. Just dump water on him. I'm sure it'd work. Okay, now fire the gun! So this is the type of revolver that's standard issue for members of the judiciary, then?
Yes, and when I asked about whether records are kept about who they're issued to, I was told that for the past 5 years, they've been engraved with a unique serial number.
Oh, maybe it is this. But as far as I can tell, there's nothing like that on this gun.
Which tells us that it must have been issued longer ago than that.
Actually, it might be this. 'Cause Kazuma would have gotten a serial number 1. But I am gonna look at everything now.
The helmet of the...
Not the thinker. This is why we're not allowed to think, you see. It's to prevent any tragic accidents from occurring.
The helmet of this charming policeman appears to be a little worse for wear.
Oh, yeah. Something... Twist it. Bop it. Pull it. Okay, yeah.
Boo-boo. I hope it doesn't fall off in the end.
I didn't realize that was actually new dialogue. I'm pretty sure this is only new, quote-unquote, because it's just reset from the previous case. So this is the little key used to wind the inspector's pocket watch.
It was a mystery at first, why it should be a policeman, I mean. But it's because it was a gift from Scotland Yard in recognition of Inspector Gregson's hard work.
If its head did fall off from overuse, it might seem a little inappropriate, don't you think?
That's, the British sense of humor for you, I think.
Wig. Pretty sure the only part of this wig that is examinable is this. I always wondered what the underside of a hairpin— yeah, I've seen this before.
That doesn't surprise me at all, Mr. Naruhodo. You always want to see what lies beneath, don't you?
I'm not sure that's quite how I put it. Most have to use lots of bird lime to keep it in place on your head, so it doesn't get blown off in a gust of wind, I mean.
That might be a little inconvenient when you wanted to take it off again, don't you think?
Actually, have I ever examined— I've never examined the armband! Hold on! This is absolutely not relevant, but I'm right in thinking that these scales are a symbol of the defense in law, aren't they?
They're supposed to symbolize treating everything equally and fairly. That's why they're always in the middle, balanced. Equal measures on both sides.
Recently, though, whenever I see a set of scales, I can only think of the enormous scales of justice.
That's entirely understandable. They are such a powerful symbol in the courtroom, aren't they?
And the thing about the scales of justice is they're always leaning one way or the other. They're only ever in balance right at the start. Oh, there could have been different dialogue when we had Iris, you're right.
It must be something peculiar to the Brit—
Oh, and there was also a point in time where Ryunosuke was alone. So I wonder if that actually would have had different dialogue. Oh, I should have been inspecting this the entire time. I've made a fool of myself.
It must be something peculiar to the British. I'm afraid I can't shed any light on it, Mr. Naruhodo.
Oh my god. It's adjustable! And he just never changed it. Kazuma Asogi. Man. It's very fine embroidery here that shows the name of the armband's owner. In this case, Kazuma Asogi. So I'm always carrying my best friend's hopes and dreams with me on my right arm just here. All the time. To be honest, it's something that weighs very heavily on me.
Oh, I didn't realize it was such a burden, Mr. Naruhodo.
Yes, I think it's why my right shoulder aches so much.
Are you sure that's not to do with you reading in bed or the like?
Man. The dialogue has been the same. Yeah, picking wrong is really funny because, like, especially with Kazuma there, because it's just... he just roasts you so heavily. Anyway, These can't have anything to do with anything. Whoa. Let's see. This is also irrelevant now. This is also irrelevant. We've already used the ticket. You are gone. And yeah. I think it might be the gun. Because, what is it? The gun that was used would have had a serial number, right? What, did he jump out the... Okay, now I am going to save, but I think it might be the gun. How do they know that Cosmo didn't just borrow it? I mean, I guess. But at the same time, I don't know. He had 2 swords. I'll just try this for right now because, like, there's not that many pieces of evidence that, like, relate to him specifically. Unless it's the watch again! That's the thing about no fingerprints. Yeah, imagine having fingerprints, but then again, everyone wears gloves too, so whatever.
Take that!
Okay, it's not that. Dang it. I'm sorry! I'm making it cry! I'm very sorry. Hold on, let me go back in time real quick. Okay, fine, it's not that. I'm sure that there is something here. There has to be. Okay. The impossibility of him being there because of the window, the time frame of 10 to 10:20. Specifically. There might have been a piece of dialogue that I've forgotten about over the weekend, admittedly. Should I just try this first? Cause, wait, did he leave before the drill happened? Maybe?
Take that!
No, no. Wait, yes, this is different. Hold on. Huh? This itinerary for crew members of the SS Grouse, my lord. This is conclusive proof. Oh, I think I might have just forgotten dialogue from like 3 days ago. Oops. An itinerary? How does that prove anything? Judge Jigoku, the moment you acknowledge that you found the victim's body in your cabin, this itinerary suddenly became much more significant. What? Why? On the night in question, as always, a crewman sentry was on guard outside your cabin door. As long as he was there, nobody could have fired a shot inside the cabin. Absolutely, because it's inconceivable that the guard wouldn't have heard it and come to investigate. So that tells us that the crime must have taken place when the guard was elsewhere. And that narrows it down to the 20 minutes just after 10 o'clock, as indicated on the itinerary. Yes, I see no flaw in your reasoning so far. But the crucial point is this. When the evacuation drill took place, the steamship had already put to sea from the port of Dunkirk. Ugh. Now, clearly the murder could only have been committed by somebody who was aboard the vessel at the time. But prosecutor, yeah, okay, it is dialogue that I totally forgot. But Prosecutor Asuki stated in yesterday's proceedings. I didn't come to Great Britain to take anyone's life, so I left Gregson and disembarked the ship. I spent that night at a boarding house in the town and returned to England the following morning. Oh, right, and there's proof. His signature is in the boarding house books. Yeah, that was, oh my god, that was like from longer than that, actually. I think that was from like last Wednesday or something. Which I'm sure the court will agree is conclusive proof that Kazuma Asugi couldn't possibly have carried out the killing. Grr. Break it. Break the witness stand. No, absolutely not. I don't accept that at all. What do you mean? The boy's just saying that to exonerate himself. We can't trust that he really disembarked the vessel. Obviously, after he left my cabin, he hid himself somewhere nearby on the ship. Just waiting for his chance to come back and finish the... No, that's out of the question. isn't it, Kazuma? As the defense rightly recalls, I disembarked the vessel and spent the night in a boarding house in Dunkirk. And as I said yesterday, I signed my name in the accommodations register book. All extremely easy to verify and undeniable proof. No, Kazuma could have said anything at any point. You're right. There's no escape this time. You can forget that you're a judge or a government minister. It's time you gave the court an honest answer as a common man and a murderer. Anyway. Break it, break it, break it, break it. Do it, do it, do it, do it. You killed Inspector Tobias Gregson and transported his corpse back to Britain. Then you dumped the body in the room on Fresno Street and made it look as if the murder had happened there. That's what really happened, isn't it, Seishiro Jigoku? Ooh, we're not calling him Judge. It was that damned trial 10 years ago. That's when it all began. Break it, break it, break it, break it, break it! Looking back now, my fate was decided that day. I was doomed already. Do it, 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 do it. Yeah! He did it! Oh, what in the actual heck? Did he just break gravity? It's over. My life is over. Did it just fly away? I was not disappointed. I was really waiting for him to break the table, and I was not disappointed. A British assassin to eliminate a professor in Japan. Oh wait, I think he's saying this. A British assassin to eliminate a professor in Japan. A Japanese assassin to eliminate a detective in Britain. Both assassins will use diplomatic immunity to evade conviction and return safely to their homelands. Breaking a table, breaking physics? Shoot, you're right. The table's gone now. The assassin exchange request arrived from Britain about 1 year ago. Though it was hardly a request, it was a demand. Why did you send a student? And for that, you decided to recruit Mr. Asoki. But things didn't go according to plan. Your chosen assassin never made it to Britain. And you found yourself unable to dispatch a replacement. Oh! He went over there to finish the job. He didn't know that Kazuma was alive until we said something. And oh, interesting. Because I was already on my way to Britain at that time in Kazuma's place. And that left me with only one option for carrying out my obligation: to eliminate the mark myself, personally. Of course, there was but a single opportunity for me to do that. The International Forensic Science Symposium, I presume. That's right. I decided it would be safest to carry out the plan before my arrival in Britain. He chose Asoka to close the loop and kill out the family line. That's what I think too. I think that, because like, the targets were people who were involved with the professor case, and who else would be more involved than someone who was related, who would want to look into it. It's why they're trying to get rid of Van Zieks as well, because he also was related to it. So they're just tying up every loose end that they can at the moment. Or so I assume. So I enlisted the help of my British counterpart. Oh, well, I'm back. I'm trying to resuscitate, Woo-Woo. I'm bringing back, Woo-Woo. It's fine, it's fine. But yeah. You make jokes about the raccoons, but they are still around. We've been playing coyote noises at them to scare them off. It's been working. Funny enough, yesterday I heard coyote noises and thought that like my parents were playing it, and it turns out no, the speaker was charging. There were genuinely coyotes just kind of around, so we must have summoned them. It's fine, they can't climb the roof. No, that's not a bad thing. It does mean that the raccoon won't be able to figure out that we're doing fake noises, you see. Which means that they'll never catch on. Theoretically. Play raccoon noises? Oh no, that might just attract them. But anyway. Something. Ah! Oh no! It's fine, they can't climb the roof, it's all good. So. And made arrangements for a pretext that would take the inspector to Dunkirk. No, they set him up. We thought he was getting to safety in France, but oh no, they set him up. Whales, the natural predators of raccoons. It's kind of funny that like while the speaker was charging, I actually did like make coyote noises up into the attic because there were noises and I just hoped it worked. I think it might have. I don't know what that says. So, it's fine. To lure the man in, he was given a sham mission by the Reaper. What? The Reaper? But there's only one person who could have done that. No, it's Strongheart. Kazuma, buddy, honey, don't, no. The mastermind of the entire operation, the Reaper himself. Can't he still be best judge if he's evil? No, he's been psychologically screwing with Kazuma and bringing him to the dark side, and therefore he is no longer best judge. I am rescinding his little badge of honor that says #1 judge, not anymore. That goes to Father Christmas now.
So, that means that the assassin exchange was... It was all planned by the Reaper!
And do you really think that Van Zieks has that level of jurisdiction?
He just made a little mistake, or 7, or more, and a little bit of letting his friend take the fall 10 years ago, and a little bit of...
He did throw that guy really far. That's true, but the guy he threw ultimately was kind of not a bad guy. He was a journalist and he was about to tell us something that was relevant and he shut him up by tossing him. So really, he's actually just obstructing justice once again. Father Christmas wins Best Judge 2 games in a row. Yep. So yeah, clearly he's just after his own agenda once again. Do we have proof he's not the Reaper? He's been in Japan. So he can't have been the Reaper. He could have been the Professor. It could have been. He could have been the Professor. He definitely killed Gregson. Oh, Van Zieks? Well, it's not Van Zieks partially because we know him and he's feeling so guilty about things that he didn't do or was responsible for. But also, well, now he's not guilty of killing Gregson, right? Yeah. I would say it'd be really difficult for him to get away with that level of crimery without the level of jurisdiction that, like, Strongheart has. Like, even if he was the Reaper, then Strongheart would have to be implicated because, like, there's no way he could get away with all of that for so many years. Jigoku really was the Yakuza, but not in the cool way, in the very sus and terrible way. Wait, Van Zieks was too drunk to commit the murders! We thought we knew Kazuma too. Here's the thing. I still trust in Kazuma completely. I still oh, oops, sorry, I hit my mic. I still 100% trust him. Kazuma has not lied. He has omitted the truth. He has skirted around it by not saying things. But anything that he has said is, like, he believes to be the truth. So... when I said he looked like an assassin, it's just like, oh, I'm spot on. Yeah, I didn't realize how right I was. I was just joking, and now it's true. Don't make jokes. Don't accessorize in the Ace Attorney universe. You will commit a crime, probably. I don't know. I think that Kazuma right now is the biggest danger to him right now is himself. because I still think he's willing to throw away his entire life and everything for the purposes of vengeance, and we need to save him from himself. I'm not at liberty to say anything about my British counterpart. Anyway, the inspector has accepted the Reaper's mission and dutifully infiltrated my cabin on the steamship. But it was all a trap designed to lead him to France and his own death. Why is Apollo Justice throwing something at me? That's rude.
Oh, how awful.
It was past 9 o'clock when I returned to my cabin from the dining hall that evening. I didn't give him the time to attack me. I choked him until he lost consciousness. You'd think there'd be marks of that, but there was a guard just outside the door. So I left it at that for the time being. Even the slightest noise might have aroused suspicion. So I bided my time, waiting. For the 20 minutes after 10 o'clock. I had intended to finish him by strangulation. But moments before I had the chance, he suddenly came around and went for me in a reckless move. Oh. Wait, so the gunshot was from Gregson? I'd received the British-issued gun 16 years... Oh, no, it was him. 16 years earlier, being a member of the judiciary as a visiting student. I never imagined I'd have to use it for something like that. So the revolver belongs to you, does it? Does it? Does it? Wait, you didn't answer that. Why did they issue visiting students the gun? Because the case has just begun! Then the victim was killed inside your cabin on the SS Grouse. Which begs the question of why you arranged for his body to be discovered in the room on Fresno Street. The young judicial assistant over there has already answered that question. There was no way I could take the body up on deck to throw it over the side. That's precisely where all the crewmen were gathered for the evacuation drill. So before the first-class cabin sentries returned, I took the corpse to the refrigeration room. And then on arriving in Dover, you concealed the body in your trunk in order to smuggle it past the border police. I knew I needed to take steps if the police were to be convinced when the body was found in London. In that case, you must have known. You must have had intimate details of Inspector Gregson's intended schedule. Yes, my British counterpart sent me everything I needed to know. The inspector was due at Fresno Street at 5 o'clock that afternoon. In order to meet a man by the name of Hugh Boone, from whom he would take back his police identification. I decided that man would be the perfect person to set up as the culprit. So I took a hackney oh, he's trying to set up somebody else, okay. Carriage over there with the body still in my trunk. That must have been just after we took this photograph with you at the hotel then. Gregson being in that photo is so messed up. It is messing me up. There he is. There's Bestie, best boy, let's go. He's been with us he's been here the whole time. Yes, I wasn't expecting a welcoming committee. I was more than a little nervous. On Fresno Street, I spotted a young girl selling little firecrackers. Miss Venus, of course. Miss, stop telling lies. I conceived of the candle trick there and then. So I donned a simple disguise and approached the girl to buy enough firecrackers to replicate a gunshot. What disguise did you go with? You're pretty recognizable. The judge is the worst, the fact that he won't say it's Strongheart. Well, I mean, the current judge is Strongheart, so... What sort of disguise? Me too. For some reason, the inspector had a bright red hairpiece in his own traveling case. Big buff red hair man. So I put that on, although I suspect I drew more attention to myself in that than I would have otherwise. With the beard? Cause like, there's no way you would have hidden your beard, so it's just the same look but with a red toupee. Huh.
The hairpiece we found at the scene. The inspector had it ready for the Red-Headed League investigation.
I only arrived at the room at around 4:45. Oh god, is this beer fake? So I quickly placed the body on the floor, moved this notice board, and set up my little candle trick. By the way, side note, another reason why I started thinking of that like spider thread story is because his beard makes me think of a spider legs, if that makes sense. So like, I don't think it's I don't think it's a coincidence, you know? Oh yeah, Sholmes was not doing that at random. He was definitely doing that on purpose. Cause like, I think that Sholmes has been trying to get this case to light, like get all of this like revealed for 10 years. Which, good for him. It's working. I arranged it so the firecrackers would go off with a bang around 15 minutes later. How did you know it would be 15 minutes? My guy, that is like really well timed. Oh, designed after the Judge of Hell. Okay, that actually makes a lot of sense. I just think it's neat that it has like the spider looking thing. So like spider thread wrapped up Kazuma, thrown him into like quote unquote hell. We're dragging him out. Whether he likes it or not, we are dragging him out of there. So that Mr. Boone, who was due to arrive at 5, would walk straight into a trap. Except, at the last moment, I made a careless blunder. What was that?
I imagine it was the bag of fish and chips.
Because it went bad. I didn't notice that it had fallen out of his overcoat pocket when I moved the body to the refrigeration room. Put it back into his pocket the following morning, but... well, the infinite fish and chips went bad. That's the only way to defeat the fish and chips. It breaks the, it breaks the, cheat code. Well, it seems the warmth of the heated cabin had accelerated the decay of the fish. Anyway, that's everything. All the sordid details of what I did. But who was your counterpart? Tell me who did it. Couldn't just buy a new bag? Well, it's because it's infinite fish and chips. You can't just get that anywhere. Yeah, and the witness stand is just gone. Where did it go? Did it, like, go into the gallery? Oh, I hope it didn't go into the gallery. That would have hurt people. I've heard enough. We've arrived at the truth about the murder of one of the country's most capable and respected police inspectors. The witness will be tried in the coming days. Strongheart, I'm going to get you. I am going to convict you. I'm not a prosecutor, but I am going to find a way. Mark my words. For a crime of such a vile nature, you can expect the most severe penalty. Flirted up to the ceiling. Oh my god. I was just healing him in the wood.
An exchange of assassins. What a foolhardy idea. Really, it's really extra. What on earth?
Mr. Jikoku, one last detail. Who was your counterpart in Britain? Who was the mastermind behind the assassin exchange? But he hasn't done anything? Oh, he... It's not over yet. Nothing you say now can make matters any worse for you. Just tell us. 'Cause, yeah, here's the thing. If we don't name who was the Reaper, Van Zieks is still gonna be, like, super under suspicion for, like, quote-unquote organizing things, because the Reaper had a hand in setting Gregson up to die. So we do still need to prove that it wasn't him. You have no more witness stand to break! Enough! Also, if I'm peeking or anything, I should just turn down my mic a little bit, actually. Sorry about that. Maybe I can do this. I've already told you that I cannot say! I didn't peek? Oh, okay. I turned it back up a little bit. Even though as things stand, you may very well never set foot in your homeland again. Well, I mean, he would just die. The death penalty and all that, you know? What are you waiting for? Can't we get this over with now? Strongheart's having fun, I guess. It's finished. All of it. I'm finished. Quick, trip him! And in the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I now pronounce the findings of this court. This man before us has admitted to the willful murder of Tobias Gregson. How? Are you a wizard? What? Did you just use control flames or something? Sei Sou, it is the opinion of this court that you should be found. Yeah, no wonder he switched out his staff. That gives him fire proficiency, I guess. Oh, it's weird seeing guilty, even though he's not our client, but like that's weird. That's weird. The fact that we see guilty is so that's just proof that this isn't. I know it's going to Jigoku, but like seeing the guilty is like very much for the player on a meta sense. This is not the end. This is not the end at all. We haven't even used all of our evidence, so. May I remind all of those present of the strict confidentiality demanded by this closed court. We also need a new witness stand. Why did you do this twice? Did we sign an NDA though? I think that threat of being disbarred. Moments ago, Mr. Jigoku signed a written confession, admitting to the murder of Inspector Gregson and the subsequent conveyance of the body. In short, the defendant's innocence has therefore been established beyond doubt. Kazuma, please. I mean, here's the thing. I also want to get Strongheart, but I know you're not because you don't think it's fine.
Oh, wonderful! Well done, Mr. Naruhodo.
Yes, thank you. I think Ryunosuke also realizes that it's not over yet, because I feel like Kazuma is about to say that Van Zieks had a part to play as the Reaper in setting Gregson up to die, and therefore we still have to continue the case. I think that's what he's gonna do. And I think that Ryunosuke is gonna agree that we need to keep going.
Is something wrong?
I'm just a little troubled by his silence. The true identity of the Reaper of the Bailey and this extraordinary assassin exchange. We do remain in the dark about these mysteries, however. Insofar as the indictment brought against the defendant in this trial, we have reached a conclusion. I have every intention of pursuing both mysteries. As a prosecutor. As you wish. Now for the far formal adjudication. Where's the objection? I hereby declare the defendant Barak Van Zieks.
Objection!
There it is! I knew it. I knew it was gonna happen. Here's the thing. We do need this to continue. We can't give Strongheart any more time to... We can't give him any more time to hide evidence and, like, wrap things up. We need to get him now. The prosecution calls for adjudication to be deferred. Counsel. The accused's innocence hasn't been fully established at all, and therefore, it would be wrong to deliver a verdict at this time. That is the prosecution's unwavering position. Yeah, I thought so. I bet it's the reasoning I gave, too. What?
But Judge Jigoku has already confessed.
Nevertheless, Barak Van Zieks has committed crimes for which he must be punished. Well, it would appear you have information that the court needs to hear, Prosecutor Asugi. If I had a daki? No, I would not have a daki of anybody. That's not really my thing. The only reason I have dakimakuras is because they were given to me as a joke by my friends. And it was mostly because they wanted to see me crack and break and burst into laughter and curl up into the fetal position, laughing in a parking lot. This happened twice. The exact same circumstance, different groups of friends, by the way. Like, just, apparently that's my reaction. Just curling up into a fetal position, just laughing in a parking lot. So, certainly, the murder of Inspector Gregson was actually carried out by Sei Sou Jigoku. Oh, does ours need to— No, don't you dare! No! I can't— Not again! This can't be a trend! Tap the sign like Kazuma taps his forehead. Or the side of his head, I guess. But it's clear from the witness's testimony that he was coerced into complying with the plot. What's the trend? Don't worry about it. Into this sick, merciless assassin exchange. That may be true, but... So what I want to know is who coerced Jigoku? Who was pulling the strings? For he was not the spider. Anyway, okay, I need to stop making, like, weird, allegories. I'm not an English major. The victim went to France, having been ordered on a mission for the Reaper, only to be murdered. Also, yeah, no, you're totally good. You're totally good. I understand it was a joke. But yeah. Try to keep it, not NSFW though. Just watch yourselves. I trust you guys to behave. And I know that's not something I should say lightly with chat, but I trust you guys. Not as much as my wholehearted trusting of Kazuma though, but I don't trust him to take care of himself. Oh, wow, did you quote me on that? Wow. I think that does sound like something I would say, and is also probably true. Here's the thing though, if I did make a Dakimakura, it would be like a really— Oh, I think I said something along those lines too though. But I think I would probably make it like, you know, a terrible cardboard cutout looking like silly, goofy looking thing. No attractiveness, only silly. Anyway. In other words, the mastermind behind the assassin exchange is someone in a position to give such an order. There's a trade? Oh, yeah. It's just a stick figure? Yeah. On a pillow? Perfect. That sounds very fun. It's unfortunate that, like, making stuff like that is expensive. I would do that if it wasn't for the fact that it was expensive to do that. As we've already established, the Reaper himself. Well, certainly, that would appear to follow. The prosecution hereby formally accuses the man in the dock, Herlock Van Zieks, of being the Reaper of the Bailey. And furthermore, I'm going to prove his guilt beyond all reasonable doubt. What? I don't think he needed to fall on the ground for that. Cardboard pony pillow. That's not even a pillow at that point. Order! 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 The Reaper of the Bailey is a long-standing mystery, Counsel. Are you suggesting you have some new information with which to build a case?
Scotland Yard has already investigated Lord Van Zieks very thoroughly in that regard, and they found no evidence whatsoever to substantiate the claim that he is the Reaper.
Perhaps, but circumstances have now changed. What do you mean? It's already been established that the assassin exchange was negotiated with Jigoku by the Reaper himself, which means we now have a new line of questioning by which to identify definitively the man's identity. That is the prosecution's intention here. Yeah, this is literally the best chance. For the wrong reasons, I agree. He's doing this for the wrong reasons, but I totally agree that we need to pursue this line of inquiry, like, now. I must say, I'm surprised by quite how tenaciously you appear to want to besmirch my name. Smart, but again, it's the wrong person. And I think that's why we're here, to fight against him as hard as we can so that he can be sure of his outcome. You are guilty of an unforgivable crime, Lord Van Zieks. And I will bring you to justice for it, whatever it takes. Ooh, boy. That explains Kazuma's silence before. Yeah, he just wants him to stop at nothing to finish what Lord Van Zeeks unwittingly started 10 years ago. This is what happens when you send hate mail to a kid across the ocean. Clearly, that's what happened. Because that is actually what happened. Why would Van Zeeks send hate mail to a child? Anyway. Very well. Whilst it's extremely irregular, I will, on this occasion, grant the prosecution further opportunity for witness testimony. The defendant will disclose any and all involvement he has had with the Reaper and the assassin exchange. Oh. Oh, aren't you afraid you're gonna get caught? I thank you, my lord, for guiding the court so wisely. No birds. I hereby declare this court to be in session for a supplementary hearing. Why isn't he afraid? He's very full of himself. How? Are there like pedals for your feet to click? Your hands are outstretched. How did that? Maybe there's a guy backstage. Sorry. Every time. Every freaking time. Well, the leg. That's how you know it's serious. Pray turn a blind eye to the discourtesy as I verify that this vile and unremitting accusation hasn't soured the contents of my hallowed chalice. Who gave him the wine? He was in prison. Who footed the end of that bill? Anyway. Lord Van Zeeks. I first had to suffer the pseudonym of the Reaper 10 years ago now. And ever since that time, I've endured the weight of implied guilt that's gone with it. And because of that weight, I had to... I couldn't skip leg day so I could carry that weight. Look at how high I can kick. Oh, there it goes. So I welcome the chance to testify now, and crush those allegations once and for all. One of the prison guards is a Van Zeeks fan? You're not wrong. He also never skipped hand day. You're absolutely right. Especially, he didn't skip arm day either. He regularly rearranges his wine barrels full of wine. Like, everyone is buff. I need to say this again. Everyone is buff, secretly or otherwise. Because, like, the prosecutors, you can see that they're visibly buff. Like, Kazuma, he does, like, kendo, he does sword stuff. Barak Van Zeeks regularly lifting and moving barrels. Ryunosuke does kyudo. Bow, archery, surprisingly a lot of muscle from that. Susato throws people on the regular. Judge Hell is, like, very, very visibly buff. Everyone else is, like, visibly buff. I think that Iris could probably, I don't know, could probably flip someone too. Susato probably taught her. Like, Ray Membami as well, they just flipped someone together. So, like, everybody, they could probably just duke it out in, like, in a fighting game and it would work out. Is Father Christmas buff? I'd believe it at this point. So, good. Then let justice decide, Lord Van Zeeks. The prosecution seeks to begin building its case by calling the accused to the stand as the primary witness. Iris and Sholmes just casually have I wouldn't be surprised at this point! In order that he may answer the accusation brought by the prosecution that he is the Reaper of the Bailey. Iris isn't buff, but she's working her way around it. She doesn't need to be buff. Sholmes is right, yeah, Sholmes is a boxer! Yeah, he'd be buff too! They're all buff! They're all really, really athletic, actually! Anyway, that was a weird side tangent. But I really needed to, like, affirm that. Cause, like, I know that Ryunosuke does not look buff, but, like, knowing that he did archery, he just has less thick arms than Kazuma. You can tell by the armband slipping. But, like, he could level as a tap dancer, apparently. Yeah, exactly. And then, like, Genshin Asogi, obviously. Duh. Swords, again. Exactly. It's just a JoJo thing. That's why they're JoJo posing whenever they do the deductions. And what says the defense?
Putting the defendant in the witness stand can be extremely dangerous. And Kazuma-sama is so emotional at the moment. He's not thinking logically.
His back would be? Yeah, no, literally. You're right that he's not himself. But I knew it would be like this. And I came here today determined to face him through whatever might arise. Back day? Yeah, exactly. As a lawyer, and as his friend, and as his partner. And scold him? Here's the thing, I don't know if what Kazuma needs is like a general scolding of like, and a shaking of like, what are you doing? Or a hug. I think he needs both. Genuinely. And as his classmate, and as his kind of roommate.
Then that's what we must do.
The defense has no objection, my lord. Oh my god. Very well. Defendant, you will take the witness stand and give formal testimony on the subject of your involvement with the Reaper and the assassin exchange. I'm surprised that we can't ask Chikoku, given that he knows the identity of the Reaper. I don't know. Well, I guess he could say that he doesn't, but we could know his compatriot, his counterpart, the other side of the mirror. Slap him and then kiss him. Yeah, that does sound like their dynamic, honestly. As you wish, my lord. And like, at this point in time, yeah. Shake him by the shoulders. Alright, let's see what he has to say about this. It's just one line. This is bullshit. And that's it. I've never taken the life of another, nor have I instructed another to kill. If it's someone more powerful, he doesn't want to jeopardize his loved ones. Who would he be jeopardizing? I mean, we don't know, admittedly, so there could be like some unnamed family or something. Because like, we know who the friends are in the family and friends. It's literally Mikotoba. So yeah, I mean, I guess so. But at the same time, it's just like, I have a feeling that what happened with the professor case 10 years ago also had to do with it. Or like, he also had a hand in it. He had some part to play. Whether it's, I don't know. I mean, I know that he fought really fiercely to exonerate Genshin Asogi, but like, it's just weird, you know? It's really, really strange, all of what happened then. And I can't wait to get into that. I've been investigating the truth behind the Reaper for years, and I was aware of Gregson's involvement. That's the reason why I went to Fresno Street that day, and how I came to discover the body. The point is, no common thread exists between myself, Gregson, and Dr. Oh, buddy, you're wrong. It's the professor case. It's the professor case. It's absolutely the professor case. Clearly, therefore, there's no reason to suspect me of being behind the assassin exchange. Oh, that's not a good reasoning. No, I can poke a hole in that. No. So, you deny all accusations by the prosecution, both that you are the Reaper of the Bailey and that you masterminded the assassin exchange. Well, here's the thing. The guy's already gonna be sentenced to death because the penalty for murdering someone is death. So, I feel like it's not gonna make that much of a difference. I acknowledge that the public at large believe me to be the Reaper. However, that's a fallacy, which I alone am in a position to forswear. Naturally, the prosecution believes the testimony just given by the accused to be untrue. Do you cross-examine or do I? Okay. Ryunosuke, naruhodo. Yes. Let me ask you, why are you here? What really brings you to this court? You asked me to be here! You literally, like, you pushed for us to do this. Did you forgore? Is your memory okay? I mean, you got it all back, but like, I guess we never really confirmed whether your memory was like stable or anything. You good? Like, the immediate like indignation melting into concern. Anyway. A desire to uncover the truth. Even if the truth proves your client to be guilty. From all my experiences in this courtroom, I've come to realize something. The truth can't be hidden. Sooner or later, it will come out. Even if it's 10 years down the line. So it's always my intention to work with my client in pursuit of the truth. Well, except that one time that he was guilty. We remember McGriddled. Never forget McGriddled. I actually forgot the guy's name. I've been calling him McGriddled for so long. Wait, what was his name? McGilded! Gold! That's what it was. Oh my god. Imagine being mocked so heavily after death. Anyway. I want you to remember what you just said. And I want you to remember as well. Enough dilatory chatter. Counsel for the defense. Proceed to cross-examine the witness. Yes, my lord. Oh boy, I already know where the contradiction is the professor case. I know exactly what you're thinking, Kazuma. I know you're just waiting to point it out. The contradiction you're convinced lies somewhere within this man's testimony. Yeah, if I point it out before you point it out, anyway. Oh, yeah, the password was Professor. It is all coming together. And like the other case too, the one with the collar is the Hound of the Baskervilles. It's all coming together. Hey, maybe the reference to the Redheaded League putting a dog collar on a person, maybe the Hound of the Baskerville wasn't a dog at all, and it actually was a person who had a dog collar. I don't know. I'm just gonna press all this anyway. I know what the contradiction is.
Hold it!
We don't get your name here. I'm just gonna kink inquire why it has to involve murder. So, you're not what the general public refer to as the infamous Reaper of the Bailey. Oh, don't even talk to me about that box. Exactly. Don't imagine for a moment that the court will be satisfied with a one-word answer on this. I realize that. That's 3 words now. If you're intending to comment on every sentence, this could take a while, Kazuma. Didn't you find it disturbing, though? That one by one, defendants who'd been acquitted after your unsuccessful prosecution were killed. Yo, I just realized. Kazuma, like, I already mentioned, he basically is breaking his soul, Karuma, in pursuit of this, and he's also left his hopes and dreams and aspirations in the armband that we have. Man, this is just so good. Anyway, let me answer that question by posing another. If one by one defendants who'd been acquitted after your successful defense were killed, would you find that disturbing? Yes? Disturbing? I couldn't possibly say how that would make me feel with a one-word answer like that. Exactly. I would just say one word. Yes, that would be very disturbing. Yes. Well, that told me... Oh, that told me. But even though I'm not the Reaper, that doesn't mean I ignored all the hearsay. Hearsay, theresay.
Hold it!
It's me, Sei.
You say for years. How long exactly? Since the very first time the Reaper's influence was felt in this courtroom. 10 years ago now. And your investigations led you somehow to Inspector Gregson, you're saying. I didn't want to believe it. It was a personal acquaintance. We'd worked on cases together in the past. A friend, even. Man, Van Zeeks isn't allowed to have friends. Felt like a betrayal. Ah! Oh no! It went away! I accidentally clicked! Hold on! It felt like a betrayal, but I demanded permission to search his office at the yard without his knowledge. Which is when you found his secret notebook, is it? It's when I first learned of the location he'd noted only as Grouse, and the appointment at 5 p.m. on the 31st. Though I didn't know the significance of those details at the time. So now we're at the nub of the map. Nub? Don't people usually say the heart of the map? Nub? Is that a British thing to say? As it turns out, the significance for me personally was very unfortunate. Nub. Oh, stop saying nub.
Hold it!
But why did you go to that specific location? Nubbin. Oh god. I thought that if it was the Reaper's headquarters, then by turning up there at 5 o'clock, I would catch whoever was involved red-handed. Weren't you worried about dying? Sadly, all that was waiting me was the inspector's corpse. Yes, even though it wasn't designed for you, you walked straight into the trap set by Jigoku. Exactly. Jigoku had intended to implicate Hugh Boone, but unhappily for me, I arrived at the scene first. A ridiculously careless blunder. Okay, moved on to just throwing insults around, I see then. Kazuma? Cool. Just yelled out skill diff. Alright. Think what you will. It doesn't change the truth.
Hold it!
Does Kazuma say something here? There is a link between you and Gregson, though. Of course, we were close acquaintances. We'd worked on numerous cases together. I considered the man to be a mentor of sorts. He taught me a number of important lessons. Kazuma gets a little stupid. I'm not surprised he's really overly emotional right now. Like, there's a reason that you're not supposed to take cases that you have personal biases with. This is the reason. You get tunnel visioned. And, yeah, we're kind of a sort of unbiased party-ish? Kinda. He did? Such as what? Listen, we're here to hit him with the not stupid stick, you know? Oh, he got quiet. Why did he get quiet? What's the unstupid stick? We're here to shake him by the shoulders and then give him a hug. Where to buy good fish and chips and said, what? Sorry, I think I need to relook at... He taught me a number of important lessons. Where to buy good fish and chips? Yeah, he broke Karuma, so that's why he's actually gotten a little bit stupid. He broke his soul and therefore his brain, I think. Brain cells might reside in the soul. Potentially, possibly. Bonk him with the sword. Just gentle bonk. Oh my god, you know the secrets of attaining infinite fish and chips? Well, that was convincing. Yeah, he was kept in the dark on everything, so I guess we are the best person to have here as the defense. Dr. Wilson was a coroner, of course, but that was some time in the past. And in any case, I understand it was several years ago now that he was invited to work at a Japanese university. I've never had good fish and chips. Have I ever had fish and chips, period end? I might not have. Maybe I should have it one day. That's right, he was a visiting professor at the Imperial Yume University in Tokyo. It should be unambiguously clear then that no link exists between myself and him. Oh, buddy, he's not saying Nipponese. He's been humbled, I think. In other words, I had no motive for sending some assassin across the oceans to kill the man. Sounds plausible enough, and I want to believe it. But something about this just doesn't quite sit right with me. Yeah, I'm just gonna... Here's the thing. You're not behind the exchange. I do agree with that, but... Oh, I don't get my penalties back? Unfortunate. Okay. I just have to live with my decisions then. Okay. I'm pretty sure... Because it needs to have Wilson's name on it.
Oh, thank you for the... Oh, thank you for the prime.
Ruru Prime. Thank you.
Squeaky.
Yeah, because he's not in here. We know that Gregson... Okay, we just need to establish that he knows Wilson, which would be this. Or so I would assume.
Objection!
Yeah, okay. What is this? An autopsy report. Wait, that went missing 10 years ago. Why do you have it? Anyway. Wait, this is 10 years old. From the autopsy of Lord Clint Van Seeks. Oh no! What? My brother's autopsy report. Oh, he knew about it too. I'm pleased to see the defense doesn't intend to run from the undeniable truth. I'm doing well. I'm trying to figure out how to lasso Kazuma back to the light. Please stop getting lost in the darkness of vengeance. Please. I swear, it's not good for you. No matter what they tell you, they don't have cookies. They lied. He's getting lost in the dark sauce. He's becoming edgy. This is how he becomes Edgeworth. Edgyworth. Oh no. Order in court. What reason do you have for presenting a 10-year-old autopsy report here, counsel? Oh. No! Stop filling a Riku! You're absolutely right. Okay, I am actually going to take a quick stretch, since I didn't last time. Have I ever tried vengeance? How do I know if it's good or not? Well, you see, I may not have done vengeance myself, but I have watched it happen. And it doesn't really go very well, you know, especially when they're innocent, which we know, so... You know. Alrighty, I will be right back. Hello. I'm back. To let 8-Ball answer any question? It certainly knows something. Now, whether it is the truth is an entirely other thing. So, What reason do you have for presenting a 10-year-old autopsy report here, Counsel? Oh? Wait, oh, did something happen while I was gone? What did Kazuma do? Oh, no. The autopsy report of the professor's final victim, which I still don't believe, whatever, is an indelible link between Inspector Gregson, Dr. Wilson, and the defendant. Not that accursed name again. The Professor. I've personally researched all of the court records relating to that case. That makes sense. I know that at the time, autopsy was considered sacrilege to the victim's souls. And for a member of the aristocracy like Lord Clint Van Zeeks, it was unthinkable. Oh, your microwave glitch. Oh, boy. But someone implored the powers that be to allow the autopsy to go ahead. Inspector Gregson. He declared that he was certain he would obtain conclusive proof from the procedure. We still don't know what that inconclusive proof was. Cause like, it was conclusive proof that was found inside his body. And we still don't know what it was that actually was. I'll double check, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't say. Oh, I see. At least you didn't put aluminum in there. Oh, that sucks. Vital evidence recovered. Yeah, no idea. It's just conclusive. Truly, incredibly conclusive. We conclude that it was conclusive.
And it was Dr. Wilson who conducted the autopsy. His signature is clearly visible on the document.
As promised by Gregson, the autopsy did indeed produce evidence. What was it? Tell me. Evidence that conclusively proved Genshin Asugi was guilty of the murders.
What was it?
My brother's dying moments. He mustered all his remaining strength to leave that vital clue behind. In what way? What was it? Indeed, that was the key to indicting the professor for his crimes and the conclusive evidence that convicted him. It enabled Lord Van Zeeks here to avenge his brother's senseless death with a marvelous victory in court.
A marvelous victory.
Was it? Oh, he is angry! He is seething! Uh-oh, no.
I wonder if that's really true.
What?
Could the same be said if it turned out that the key piece of evidence in question was in fact fabricated? If the inspector, the coroner, and the prosecutor all colluded together to cast an innocent Japanese man as a mass murderer and send him to his death.
That's outrageous.
And now, 10 years later, for some reason, the secret has been threatened and needs protecting.
Marvelously killed, your father, Cosma. You should have been there. It was glorious. It was marvelous, even. Oh, man.
Which is why the inspector and the coroner had to be silenced, isn't it? By someone in power in Japan and in Britain, using the two killers recruited for the assassin exchange. He's not wrong. Like, he's still smart. He's just so tunnel visioned on Van Zeeks being the Reaper that he can't see that all of the evidence that he has built up here makes more sense if it was someone else who had more power. Cause Van Zeeks is a prosecutor, but he isn't in the same like ballpark as, you know, the Minister of Foreign Affairs. Like, he doesn't have that type of I don't know, legal leeway. And like, if that's the case, then how would he be able to threaten Jikoku to do things if he doesn't have the power legally to... Anyway. We all know it was Strongheart. It's like legalese, except legally way. Order. Order at once. I
feel like everyone here is getting accused except the defense. Because I'm going to accuse, like, the presiding judge of this case. So, interesting. Here's the thing. Barak prosecuted his father's death. But he wasn't supposed to be the prosecutor. It was supposed to be Strongheart. Yeah, as far as Cosmo's concerned, though, like, he doesn't realize. And, like, I don't blame him. But, like, boy, you gotta calm down a little bit. 10 years ago, my father was convicted in this very courtroom as a mass murderer, to be sentenced to death. But it was all a sham, and I swore to myself that I'd prove it. Which is why I had to come to Britain, whatever the cost. You'll have to forgive me if I feel compelled to toast this vengeful Nipponese's tenacity of purpose here. Well, it's what happens when you send a child hate mail. However, he who fails to quash his emotions in the courtroom has failed as a lawyer. I get it. You don't have to put it like that. You're saying what I'm saying, but more callously. Come on, Kazuma, you know this won't wash! You're claiming your father was misrepresented in a trial that took place a whole decade ago. You must see that without evidence, that's nothing more than a wild accusation. As it happens, I have evidence. What? As the court has heard, I crossed the channel to France with Gregson on the 31st. I went with him on the pretext of being the assassin recruited to kill Seishiro Jigoku. But my true intentions were to make the inspector tell me the truth. Runo's already only been in London for half a year and he's already inventing new slang. Well, to be fair, he is an English major. What truth? The truth about the evidence, and he acknowledged what I'd already deduced. There is a closely guarded secret about what went on in that autopsy 10 years ago. What? A secret? I know nothing of any secret. While we waited for my supposed mark in Jigoku's cabin, I drew my clan's illustrious sword, Karuma, before the inspector's eyes. He very quickly understood what my true motive was. Right, I see. You're that Asagi's young lad, are you? Seagull, no! And what? Gonna cut me down with that thing? Is that it? That will very much depend on the answers you give to my questions. I want to know what really happened 10 years ago. The truth. That's all. Before we get into it, let me make one thing clear. I still believe your father was the professor. There's no doubt in my mind. But, fortunately back then, we didn't have the evidence we needed to make the crime stick. So, you admit it then? The evidence used in my father's trial was fabricated! No. It's for the good of the country. Anyway, I was just following orders. Orders? What exactly did you do? Speak! God, I imagine that, like, his hands are trembling on that sword. I'm not saying another word. Even if your life depends on it. That's right. Even then. Well, we know what happened with that strike. So, that's when the tip of the sword broke. Oh man, metaphorically, this is a nightmare. That's very much he has, like, tipped into, lost himself. I see. It was for the good of the country and I was just following orders are the two worst things you could say. Here's the thing. Gregson has already shown on record that that's what he does. He will lie about evidence. He will
bribe the witness. He will, like, collude if he's given orders to do so. That's what happened in the case in the first game. I think the last one. And it was under Strongheart's orders. So it's established, at least. I do miss the guy, though. He was ultimately, like, good-hearted, if misguided.
Oh, Kazuma-sama.
If the results of Clint Van Zeek's autopsy were fabricated, then the investigating officer, Gregson, and the lead coroner, Wilson, must have known about it. And they can only have been ordered to pervert the course of justice in that way by one man. Strongheart! Anyway. The man leading the case or the prosecution? Herlock Van Zeeks. It wasn't supposed to be him in the beginning. There's enough proof that Gregson said any of this. But at the same time, if they end up... Like, he's trying to pull a reaction from Van Zeeks. So, like, Van Zeeks didn't do it, but this might get a reaction out of Strongheart. In other words, the defendant did have cause to organize this exchange of assassins. Exactly. And as was established earlier, it has to have been the Reaper himself who liaised with Jikoku in Japan to arrange the exchange. Ah. So it follows that the Reaper's true identity can only be that of the man who stands accused in this courtroom today, Herlock Van Zeeks. I don't think he... Does he know that it was originally not Van Zeeks who was supposed to prosecute? He might not actually know that information. Because if he didn't know that, this is a very reasonable thing to assume, actually.
Objection!
That's fair. Oh wait, they replaced the witness stand! When did we get a new witness stand? That broke. Do they have, like, spare ones in the closet or something? Why is Kazuma still going after him? He's tunnel visioning because of his anger and vengeance. He did put his leg on it earlier. I should have realized that it came back at that point. But yeah, he also, I don't think, has the information that Strongheart was originally supposed to be the prosecutor, and it was only at the last minute that that change happened. So, as far as he's concerned, it makes sense. I don't think that Van Zeeks would have had the power to do any of this, even if he was... whatever. Kazuma Asuki. What? What you just told the court, are you absolutely certain of your facts? Ooh, that's true. Van Zeeks is also actually pretty morally okay. He's not bankrupt yet. The crazy cyborg man to just make witness stands, clearly. And that's why the previous witness stand just kind of flew off into space. Because it was just, that's just how it was made. You know how, like, tempered glass just kind of shatters so that it doesn't, like, hurt people? Like, by like, cutting them with, like, jagged pieces? The witness stand, it just explodes and floats upwards and sticks on the ceiling so it doesn't hit anybody in the gallery, clearly. I think that's how science works. Maybe. Maybe it was the instantaneous transportation thing. It only works with inanimate objects. Anyway. Did Gregson really fabricate evidence for that trial 10 years ago? I heard it with my own ears. His shameful admission. Oh, whoa. In that case, I know. The name of the Reaper. Ooh, let's go! He's probably thought this whole time. Because, like, especially when he's told to, you know, keep quiet, not cross-examine certain people, like Courtney Scythe and stuff. I'm sure he knew. He had an inkling. Okay, let's go, let's go, let's go. What? Lord Van Zeeks. I gave no such orders. I know that for certain. Which narrows down the remaining possibilities to 1. If Lord Van Zieks isn't the one behind all this, then yes, there is only one other person who could have done something like that. I believe I know who it is too. You! I just had a feeling this name was going to come up. The true identity of the infamous Reaper of the Bailey. I was waiting for this for so long! Get your ass on the stand. The only person who could have arranged the assassin exchange and manipulated the autopsy results is the Lord Chief Justice himself. Lord Male Strongheart. I didn't do it. What? Lord Strongheart! Careful though, he has fire powers. Yes, it's true that 10 years ago the defendant handled the prosecution of the professor in court. But he only took over the case after his brother Lord Clint Van Zieks had been killed. We're coming for the whole British legal system with this one, guys. I can only assume that this is the most inappropriate joke in British judicial history. Yeah, you're the joke. Well, Lord Van Zieks, 10 years ago, I was very new to my profession. The art book has his name as Heart Vortex. Oh, I'm guessing that's the Japanese name then. Because, like, I know that a bunch of names were changed. Yeah, Maelstrom. That makes sense. Strongheart. I think it works out. But I had a burning desire to avenge my brother's death, so I pleaded for control of the case. And honestly, I feel like Male Strongheart is way more Ace Attorney style level of pun name. The investigation to that point, the supplication of the lords to allow my brother's corpse to be examined, all the evidence I was given, the autopsy reports, it all came from you. Ooh, we're all coming for him. We're coming for your knees. I've spent my life since then believing I was in your debt for the way you stood aside and let me handle the trial. But I see now. I was very much mistaken. It was a hugely influential force that caused the inspector and the coroner to break the law 10 years ago. And that same force was still felt a decade later on the other side of the world, by Sei Sou Jigoku. Lord Strongheart, everything falls into place when we recognize that you are the Reaper of the Bailey. Oh, he sat down again. It's because we took his knees! Yeah, get him! The court awaits your response, my lord. Let's go! This may very well go down in British judicial history, but I assure you, it is no joke. I don't think he's capable of making jokes. Consider this a formal accusal by the defense. It doesn't warrant a response. A formal accusal? Don't be absurd. The defense's claims are utter nonsense. A wild fantasy at best. You're not going to defend yourself. You claim there was some wrongdoing with Lord Clint Van Zieks' autopsy. That's utterly untrue.
Objection.
Let's go! But I heard it from Gregson's own lips. He admitted to it. He's gonna say there's no evidence. And where is your... yep, there it is. Where is your evidence? What? Gregson's dead now. Unless you were thinking of summoning a ghost to the stand. Give it like 100 or so years? How long between this and, Ace 21? Anyway. You mean to say... I forget how the system works in your little backwater country. Summon Sholmes. Yeah, sure. He's the closest we've got so far. Maya, quickly, now! But in the courts of the British Empire, without evidence, there is no case. Here's the thing. I think, based on Spirit of Justice,
Kudain is an existing place. It has a long history. They have ancestors and they've just been around. I don't know if they were like keeping themselves hidden or something, but like I know that they kept themselves like relevant power-wise as a country because of their channeling. I remember that. Why do I remember that, but like not other details about the cases in Spirit of Justice? Ah, well.
But in the courts of the British Empire without evidence, there is no case.
Oh,
I have no intention of entertaining some wild fantasy that can't possibly be substantiated by anyone or anything.
they weren't used for courts until my... Oh.
Ugh. Yeah, that didn't turn out very well. Order in court. Following Inspector Gregson's murder and in the light of Dr. Wilson's death as well, there's really no one left who could testify about the events of 10 years ago, is it? Mikotoba-san! Mikotoba-san! Please! Mikotoba-sensei!
So, that was the real purpose of the assassin exchange. And also Jigoku! They were both there! Also, Sholmes, kind of. We've got a lot of people that could testify, actually. Oh god, he's gonna bludgeon us.
This court has no business raking over the coals of a case that was concluded a decade ago. The accusal brought by the prosecution and the defense is categorically denied. I take it there are no objections.
Object! Please, please, Kazuma. Trust us! We've trusted you! Please! Kazuma. He's more or less waited his whole life for this moment. Is there really nothing else we can do now? Is there no other avenue we can go down in pursuit of the truth about what happened all those years ago? If only there was someone who could testify about Clint Van Zeek's autopsy. It's Mikotoba-san! He was there! He's gone to extraordinary lengths to cover his tracks. Even so far as dispatching an assassin all the way to Japan to ensure Dr. Wilson's silence. And Dr. Scythe won't say anything against Strongheart. But there's still one ray of hope. Let's go! Oh, we're coming for you!
We've taken your knees and now we're gonna get the rest of you too.
Actually, there is one person. One person who could still testify about that autopsy.
Don't be ridiculous. There's no one left. I made sure of it. Oops.
Who? Ryunosuke, who? Tell me! Oh, buddy. He needs a hug. Kazuma, Please, this trial can't end! Not yet! I'm not doing this for you. Oh, buddy. I'm doing it for the truth. Oh, man, Oh, boy! They've got some things they need to discuss after this. The person the defense would like to call to the stand to testify about the autopsy of Lord Clint Van Zeeks is...
Take that!
Heaven help us, another Japanese.
Come on! Why? An expert in forensic medicine, my lord. Professor Yuji Mikotoba, 16 years ago. He came to London with Seishiro Jigoku and Genshin Asogi as a visiting student.
And what could his testimony possibly tell us?
Professor Mikotoba was the primary assistant during the autopsy in question. He was also the person who actually penned the report.
Incorrect. The autopsy was carried out by the coroner, Dr. Wilson. The report carries his signature.
Yeah, and people don't take credit for their assistant's work. Never. Not a single time has that ever happened in the history of ever. Haha.
It was the primary assistant's duty to keep a written record of the coroner's work during the procedure. In actual fact, the coroner merely read over the report at the end and signed it.
That's why Wilson, yeah. In other words, Professor Mikotoba witnessed the entire autopsy from start to finish. Oh, that also means that, like, good thing the credit for his work was taken, because otherwise he would have absolutely been a target. The defense demands that Professor Mikotoba be summoned as a witness as a matter of urgency. Whatever really happened in that autopsy laboratory 10 years ago is something only he can tell us. Mikoto is so lucky that Strongheart made the same mistake as Iris about Clint's autopsy report's handwriting. Absolutely. You know, I would say, like, look at that, you're as smart as a 10-year-old, but that 10-year-old is also a doctor. And we love Iris, and she's, you know, she has the brain cell a lot of the time, so. Strongheart borrowed it when it was, Strongheart borrowed the brain cell when it was replaced with a dud. The defense's demand is What? What?
But Professor Mikotoba is in London at this very moment. We could summon him to the stand in minutes.
No, of course he's not going to agree to it. Strongheart has no intention of summoning anyone who knows. He's too concerned about protecting himself. What do we do when the judge is corrupt? How do we overrule you?
Prosecutor Asogi, let me refresh your memory as you seem to have forgotten the prosecution's stance.
We need Father Christmas here.
Only minutes ago, you accused the defendant of being the Reaper and of masterminding the assassin exchange.
I did. Yes.
So present your evidence for those claims and make your case complete.
No! You're being so sus! Come on. I believe you. I believe in you. At this time, I don't have the requisite evidence. That's exactly why we need witness testimony.
The professor case is closed. There are no clues in the distant past that will bolster your argument today. I'm afraid to say, Prosecutor Asogi, that you would appear to be possessed by the spirit of your late homicidal father.
I'm gonna be the one who's killing you next!
Oh man, that's a low blow. Now, as I stated earlier, this court has already reached a conclusion with respect to the matter at hand. Inspector Gregson was murdered by Japanese Supreme Court Judge Seishiro Jigoku. As for any hidden circumstances that may exist, they will be investigated in due course by the proper authorities.
Yeah, by your forensic investigation team that's not going to actually do the proper investigation! Thank you for the 30 bits, I totally agree. Big knife time.
Oh yeah! Well, here's the thing, she stole the report 2 years ago, but like, I would have assumed he would have seen the report at some point.
Objection!
But we all know what will happen. That'll just give the mastermind of the whole venture time to cover his tracks again. Okay, we do point it out. Let's look at him go.
By which you mean me. Your punishment for this contemptible behavior will be decided at a later date. As for you, Prosecutor Asogi, you will be remanded following these proceedings. Willingly, I trust, since you gave your word.
Stop him.
This futile game of revenge is over, young Master Asogi.
Why did you call him that?
No!
I'm not gonna go any further than that. Sorry. But, oh, Bunny.
That will be all. I hereby declare this court trial over. Who is he about to just... Yes! It's him! Yay!
Mr. Sholmes! Let's go! Sholmes, get him!
This is no place for amateur detection, Mr. Sholmes. May I remind you that these proceedings are closed to the general public. You will leave the courtroom at once.
Oh, he's totally been listening. He's totally been listening this whole time. Mr. Sholmes was instrumental in the apprehension of Seishiro Jigoku before he fled from Europe. The court should hear what he has to say. Lord Mail Strongheart, it's imperative that you refrain from bringing this trial to an end at this stage.
Is it really? And why would that be?
You need only recall your own words from the opening of this trial to answer that question, if I may.
We will stop at nothing to uncover the whole truth behind these disturbing findings. He's just casually revealing that he's been listening to this closed trial this entire time, and you know what? Good for him. Let's go, let's go. Surely it can't be that the shock of being accused of being the Reaper yourself has erased that from your memory, can it? Yes! Go, go, go! Fight him, fight him, fight him! The whole truth, sir, has already been uncovered. It would seem that we have a great many important members of the judiciary present here today. I put it to you, my dear fellows, should the trial end at this juncture? After all, why have you been invited to attend? To nod along to the prevarications of your superiors? Rebellion! Rebellion! Mutiny! 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 Order! Order in court? Oh, there is no order, there is only chaos! It seems to me that we stand before a door that leads to a new era of legal practices, a door that is ajar. Let us emerge from the shadows of the Reaper's decade-long ascendancy. For you and you alone, my dear fellows, have the power to push this door open now. The auditors in the gallery have no rights to express an opinion on court proceedings. Silence!
He's right. The judge has absolute authority here.
Yes, if he calls the trial to an end, it must end.
But will that really do?
I sense dark things occurring behind the scenes. Dark things indeed. Is there a single person here present who can honestly not say the same? What's... The trial should go on! Summon the witness!
That's right. We need to clear this right up before the young Japanese is reprimanded.
Shoot. Look at that! Support! You don't have to do this alone.
Is remanded in custody.
These flat silhouettes they have been hit so many times by the bottle, but now they are allowed to speak because they haven't been conked on the brains. They're finally conscious. Let's go! Also, he looks so hopeful.
My lord, you assured those present that you would uncover the whole truth here. Vindicate yourself of this outlandish accusation.
The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. That's the very foundation of British law.
A toast to my dependable colleagues in the gallery. Yeah, you've called them idiots before. Well, I guess that was like open public, so never mind. Testify! 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 Well, my lord. You hear the voice of British justice, I take it. I think you'll find it will be rather awkward to silence. Peer pressure! The court will recess briefly. I have no intention of shrinking from these allegations. I just need some time to fabricate some evidence. Anyway. He looks so hopeful! Oh, buddy. Bailiff, arrange for the subpoena of the witness at once. Yep, Conan style. There's only one truth, and we're going to find it, whether you want us to or not. As soon as the gentleman arrives at the courthouse, we shall reconvene. He's not in danger. A recess won't be necessary, my lord, because Sholmes would have brought him, because they're partners! Ow, I need to stop hitting my hand on my chair arm. Pardon. Mikotoba is a close friend of mine. He accompanied me today and is waiting in the antechamber as we speak. I have predicted all of this. Let's go. I do believe he's been enjoying a little trip down memory lane, in fact. What? Professor Mikotoba is here in the courthouse? It would be a shame if something were to happen. Okay, chat, don't do anything. We've got him on the other foot here. Don't screw this up, chat. Mr. Sholmes, you didn't know this would happen, did you? My dear fellow, wait, did he just walk over to the witness stand? My dear fellow, no one is in a better position to answer that question than you, surely. I wasn't just asking for the fun of it, you know. Well, I must thank you for your assistance in this matter, Mr. Sholmes. However, You are of no further use here. Kindly leave the courtroom at once.
But of course, in truth, I find myself rather busy now
As a result of all these developments.
Mr. Naruhodo. Yes.
I trust you have Iris's little lucky charm with you. He's gonna find more evidence for us. Yes! Let's go!
Oh, I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited. So excited. Do we get to play as Sholmes again? Please. Absolutely. It's still in my pocket.
She sends her regards and a reminder. If you find yourself at a dead end, the ears are at your disposal.
Just one tug, if you please. Oh, of course.
In that case, the trial will continue without delay. Bailiff, show the witness to the stand. Yay!
We love Sholmes. So, it's Lord Strongheart. He's the Reaper of the Bailey. Where exactly is this trial going to take me, I wonder? Just how deep am I about to be plunged into the blackness of the abyss? Well, ask Kazuma, he's been there. Well, I'm ready. I'm ready to head into the heart of this maelstrom. Ha! 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 Strongheart, I get it. And confront whatever horrors it tries to drown me under. Alrighty. To be continued? There it is. Oh, this is a long one. Because I bet that... well, it's not that I bet, it's I hope that I get to investigate as Sholmes again. I want another deduction sequence. That would be so fun. I'm having way too much fun. I'm having so much fun. We're gonna get going for a little bit, because I haven't even reached 3 hours yet. Oh, hi! Why are you here? I'll go for a bit. I'm probably not gonna go, like, over. Like, I'm not gonna go, like, 5 hours like I did the last two, just because, like, that'll definitely burn me out. So, witness, please state your name and occupation for the court.
Eugene Mikotoba, lecturer in forensic medicine at the Imperial Yume University in Tokyo, Japan.
Yeah, that's gory. That's without the bird mask. It really is hard to put down the game. It really is. That's why I kept going the last 2 times, but like, I don't think I physically can as much as I want to. She's just staring. Why is she staring? And, Professor Mikotoba, the young lady beside you is...
This is Dr. Maria Gori, Scotland Yard's practicing coroner, the daughter of Dr. Scythe, I understand.
Yes, Dr. Scythe.
I'm afraid I can't tell you why she's here. She just appeared and staring at me. Help.
Oh my god.
You summon this strange Japanese man as a witness to that autopsy. But you don't summon Mama. That makes no sense. She was there too.
That's about the size of it.
That's why they put it on the 3DS, so that you could take it wherever you go. That's entirely fair.
I've had her eyes boring into the side of my cheek constantly, whilst I was in the antechamber too.
Poor man. The idea of it's making me shudder. Yeah, when she stared at us, it did look like she wanted to, do an autopsy on us, so, oof. She there to sign? No, I don't think she knows what happened. Either that, or she knows a truth that, like, she's not allowed to say. I think she's there for, like, the sake of her mom. That's my personal theory right now. She seemed alright. She was willing to let us see the autopsy, you know? Before we found out it was stolen. But... And she also added that, like, the time of death was not conclusive, despite being told she's not allowed to do that. So, I don't know. Despite the, murder tendencies, I think she's okay. She hasn't committed murder, just dissection. Ugh.
The revelations about Dr. Scythe came to light some days ago, defiled the reputation of the entire judiciary. She was therefore deemed unfit to appear as a witness in today's proceedings. The Ministry of Justice's decision on that is final.
Well, we wouldn't want any more perjury to be committed, would we? Oof. come on. Why are you sending, like, hate mail but to Gory this time? Express mail. Okay. The Ministry of Justice. Some questionable strings are being pulled, I think. I remember you, Dr. Mikotoba. But I certainly never expected to be meeting you under these circumstances. Yes, it's been a long while, Lord Strongheart. The prosecution understands that you were a visiting student of forensic science in London until 10 years ago. That's right. I studied under Dr. Wilson at St. Sinners. So, you were present at the autopsy of my brother, Lord Clint Van Zeeks. Gina probably left a while ago, right? I was, yes. I assisted Dr. Wilson with the entire procedure.
Mama is far more skilled than any Japanese man.
Well, Dr. Wilson asked me to be his primary assistant on that occasion. And this autopsy report was actually penned by you, I believe. Yes, I noted all of the doctor's findings, and when we were done, he read through the document and signed it.
Oh, Mama. As secondary assistant, she wouldn't have had such a good view of all the innards.
That's messed up to say. Oh my god, Cosma at least is taking that well. So, Professor, do you remember Inspector Gregson? Yes, of course. If it wasn't for his insistence, Lord Van Zeek's autopsy would never have happened. But he was absolutely convinced that it would reveal decisive evidence against Genshin, you see. So Lord Strongheart had to entreat the nobility to allow it to take place. Do correct me if I'm wrong, my lord. It was as a result of that autopsy that a mass murderer was apprehended, and justice was done. Your justice. But Gregson admitted it before he was killed. He admitted that the results of the autopsy were fabricated. Can we hand you your autopsy report and see if it's, like, consistent with what you wrote? If you still remember. You were there at the time, so you must testify. You have an obligation to tell the truth about what really went on. Absolutely. That's precisely why I'm here.
And that's why I'm here too.
Very well then. You will give your formal testimony now, witness. But before you begin, a word of warning. Oh. You will state truthfully and accurately what you saw and what you heard at the time. Are there air quotes around that? I wouldn't dream of doing otherwise, my lord. The moment your testimony verges on supposition, I will expel you from my courtroom. If Assassin could have just been not... Yeah, if she had decided not to go to the beach and gloat, she would have been here for all of this. That's hilarious. Remember that. Okay, the facts and only the facts. From my own observations, I couldn't say there was any indication of the autopsy results having been fabricated. Death resulted from a wound made by a Western-style... Okay, Western-style sword. That's interesting. By a Western-style sword, transfixing the heart, that I found a little strange.
There were no other signs of internal injury. Nothing questionable at all.
How does Assassin fit into the Professor case? Maybe not the Professor case. She was more so part of the Reaper, like, assassin exchange program thing. I don't think she was involved in the Professor case.
It was just that beautiful but dangerous piece of evidence removed from the man's stomach.
What did he eat? Presumed to have been swallowed by the victim as a way of posthumously identifying his assailant. Oh. Why is that? This cannot be my life. Why is it that this is now the second person in the past 2 days that has decided to look at a thing and go, I eat the inedible object. D&D, by the way. Why? A different D&D, by the way. No, stop it. No indication. Nothing to suggest fabrication. Was it soap? No, it was a glass gem that exploded on contact with the wall. So you know, definitely edible. Yes, this is a call-out post. Professor Mikotoba, are you certain about that? Well, nothing that I could positively identify as such, much less swear to in testimony.
Well, what was the evidence?
Evil laughter? Well, that clears things up nicely. I'm so innocent, laughing maniacally and evilly in front of everyone once I think that I've gotten my way. Truly. Really? The only fabrication here, Asogi, has come from you. What? You claim the inspector confessed just before his death, but that is the fabrication. Everyone's a freaking theater kid around here. No, he freely acknowledged it. I swear he did. Freely? With the tip of a sword at his throat. The man was clearly at his wit's end. He seemed pretty calm about it, actually. The court will give no credence to this confession that was uttered in obvious desperation. We still have to cross-examine. Quite simply, there was nothing questionable about the investigation of Lord Clint Van Zeek's death. And with this testimony we have, without question, uncovered the whole truth of the matter. Let us cross-examine. Let us cross-examine. If I may, my lord. There was most certainly something questionable about it, and the whole truth does rather elude us, I feel. I beg your pardon? Well, you're obviously aware of the facts of the case. All 4 of the professor's previous victims were mauled by a dog, died when an enormous beast was set upon them that ripped out their throats.
Oh, such horrifying crimes.
But curiously, the killer's last victim, Lord Clint Van Zeeks, suffered a different fate. Yes, you're right. And specifically a Western-style sword, so no, Genshin Osugi did not kill him. I really don't think so. Not even in self-defense, because he already has a sword on him, and it ain't a Western-style one. Wait, but...
He was stabbed through the heart with a sword.
Who has a sword? You don't... Oh my god. Wait, you don't think that it was Clint Van Zeek's? Kazuma only has a Western sword because it's Van Zeek's. I don't think that Barok Van Zeek... Maybe Clint, yeah. And I think in the portrait, he had a sword. Uh-oh. I think that... Okay, current theory. Does the judge have one? I don't think so. Current theory, yeah. I think that Clint Van Zeeks was made into the professor. Because the victims, yes, they were all nobility, but they were also all corrupt. That was the other side of things, and they just pushed the nobility angles to make it seem less like it, like, to clear suspicion, I guess, from certain things. I think that Clint Van Zeeks was made to be the professor, probably against his will, given what happened. And he had to kill someone that he didn't want to, or didn't think deserved to. And he just ended himself. That's my current theory. Oh, well, we'll see. That's enough. I believe I warned you about this, witness. I promised to curtail your testimony as soon as it entered the realms of supposition or speculation.
No, but it's just a fact. There's no supposition here.
It's just a fact that the previous victims were mauled by a big beast, and the current one, the last one, was done with a sword. That is only the truth. Very well, my lord. In that case, the defense will pursue a conclusion to this during the cross-examination. What? I have the right to cross-examine every witness after testimony. And I fully intend to exercise that right. Ryunosuke.
I'm afraid that even the presiding judge has no authority to contravene the letter of the law. As I'm sure every member of the judiciary present in the gallery would agree.
Oh, we're taking a little note from Sholmes here. Let's go. We are steadily pulling Kazuma out of the brink, by the way. Like, I can see it with how he's reacting to things of just like, oh, I do have support. I am not going through this alone. Yeah, you know, all that stuff. Man, the characters are so well written. I really like it a lot. Very well. You may begin, counsel. However, the moment your argument strays from the established facts, I will not hesitate to bring the cross-examination to an end. Proceed with caution. Yes, my lord. Oh wait, does that mean we only have 2 penalties left? Because we didn't have a recess? Dang it, Sholmes! Anyway. But no, it's for the best that we got him as quickly as possible. Oh no! We have all our penalties! Thanks, Sholmes! He opened the door and the penalties flew in. Well, that makes it sound like a bad thing. Okay, let's just question everything. You couldn't say. No, sadly not. But then you couldn't say there wasn't any indication either, could you? No, true, I couldn't. I was at Dr. Wilson's side as he performed the procedure, recording what he did. But at times, of course, he instructed me to fetch implements and such like. Whilst I was away from the operating table, obviously, I could have missed something. And at those times, what was the secondary assistant doing?
Following this Japanese man's orders to adjust the lighting or pass him implements. But that doesn't mean Mama wasn't a vital part of the team.
Yeah, vitally screwed everyone over. It was actually the baby. No, it wasn't the baby! Quite, yes. So, would you kindly refrain from staring at my cheek like that? Professor Mikotoba, think! Was there nothing at all that seemed out of place to you? Well, yes, there was, as a matter of fact.
Hold it!
In all of the previous 4 killings attributed to the professor, the victims were killed by an enormous dog, I believe. Their throats were, well, mauled. Did they ever find the dog, or are they just assuming it was a dog? Like, I don't know. Correct, and yet Lord Van Zeeks was stabbed. Ah, do you mean to say you think Lord Clint Van Zeeks may not in fact have been one of the professor's victims? I think he was! Kind of. There was no basis on which to doubt the findings of the investigations carried out at the time. But Genshin Asogi confessed to all of his crimes upon his arrest. He admitted to having taken the lives of all 5 members of the aristocracy. Yes, the beast that was used to carry out the killings was never Ooh, okay. Never identified. What if it was a person? That'd be a weird one. There's no way, because they were mauled in the throat, right? But like, wait, shoot, it has been a while since the second case of this game. Because that's the one where they found the collar. Who had that? It was the guy who went to prison. It was some of the loot that he had that he hid in the apartment. And he had the collar of presumably the dog. Humans wouldn't make the same bite marks, not if you tear their throat out, I guess. Oh god, that's messed up. Maybe it wasn't a dog. Maybe it was a shark, I don't know. But we'll figure it out. I think we're jumping too quickly to assume it was a dog. It might be something else. Yes, Selden. No evidence was found to suggest that Genshin had ever kept a dog. A true hound of hell. Okay.
Hold it!
But, you weren't actually present at the autopsy yourself, were you, Dr. Gory?
Does that matter?
Well, I just wonder how useful your testimony can be in that case, really. I mean, it would be different if your mother, Dr. Scythe, were on the stand, but...
I've read all the paperwork about the case, and Mama's told me the story countless times. The statement I just made is exactly what's written in the autopsy report.
I did confirm that myself at the time, it's true. Besides the stab wound, there were no other signs of internal trauma. I see. No, it can't. Toby is literally too young for that to work. Because, like, Toby's a puppy. And this was 10 years ago. In dog years, he'd be ancient. Toby could never do that. Toby is the bestest boy. Toby could never. We love Toby.
Mama told me all about it.
Oh?
She said there was nothing of note internally. But they did find an amazing piece of evidence. Something unbelievable.
The dog is named after Gregson! Pain! No! Gina! Oh, man. Unbelievable? What do you mean? Come on, Dr. Gory, what was it? That's not peaking for you guys? I feel like when I reviewed the audio, that when I chat like that, it definitely sounds crinkled, scrunkled, scrimched. Okay, cool. Well, good to know. Long as it's not rupturing your eardrums.
Hold it!
What exactly was it, though? What does beautiful but dangerous mean? Did he swallow a knife?
Good to know. Yay!
Yeah, just, you know, if anything is weird, just let me know.
Well, it was sparkly and round with a hole, as if it might slip over a finger, perhaps.
The ring! Right? He ate the ring! It was a ring belonging to Genshin Asogi. My father's ring was inside the victim's stomach? Why would you eat? Here's the thing! Okay. Question. Why? Well, here's the thing. How? Probably eating. Nom nom. But why? Why would he have eaten the ring? They're saying it's so that he could, like, implicate who did the murder after the fact, right? But autopsies weren't done at that point. He was the first one, and there was a lot of fighting to make that happen. So he had no reasonable belief that there would have been an autopsy done. He would have had better luck hiding it in his pocket or something. Or in his shoe, or in his sock, or anywhere but inside his own body. It doesn't make sense. So I have no idea why he ate the ring, but we'll figure that out. At the time, Genshin wore a large ring on the digitus cortis of his left finger, the fourth or ring finger. Inner voices won. I guess the impulsive thoughts won. He was just hungry? Well, dang. I'd understood it was some sort of keepsake. When my father left Japan for London 16 years ago, I was 8 years old. But I remember that ring. You do? So he's 24 now. Oh, interesting. My father's possessions were sent to our family home in Japan after his death, but the ring wasn't among them. Obviously not. It was a key piece of evidence. It says he's 24. Listen, it's been a while since I looked at stuff. It remains under lock and key in the stores at Scotland Yard to this day. After the autopsy, Genshin was summoned by the police to check for the presence of his ring. It wasn't on his hand, of course. Moreover, there were deep abrasions on his finger where it had been pulled off. They arrested the man there and then, right before my eyes. Do we have... Cause we know... I don't think we actually had a picture of it. Cause, like, there was a picture, and I think it was just a memory of when, Van Zieks was telling us about when, Kazuma's dad was protecting him. And I remember noting that there was a ring in the picture.
I wonder if something happened around then for the ring to go missing.
They arrested the man there and then, right before my eyes.
How could they?
I brought the ring along with me today.
Thank you! Hand it over, hand it over! What? Oh.
Here it is, a bit dusty from years in the stores.
Good gracious, yes, that's it. I haven't seen that in 10 long years.
And that was found inside the victim's stomach.
Yes, I'm afraid so.
You hesitated there, Professor Mikotoba. Should we read something into that?
Well, it's just not thinking back now. I didn't actually witness the moment it was extracted from the victim's body.
Oh my! Really?
At that precise moment, Dr. Wilson had asked me to fetch him a new scalpel, you see.
Dr. Gory.
The removal of historic evidence from the stores requires my consent, does it not?
But she's like 16. You can't tell her what to do. She's a teenager. Put on the mask. You can't find her. You don't have object permanence, probably. However it came to be here, the court cannot deny that this is crucial evidence for today's proceedings. Very well. You may submit it. Oh, she's 19. Yeah, she's still a kid. She's barely a whole person. Her frontal lobe hasn't developed. The 500 scalpels are coming back. Let's go. It's not the sort of ring normally seen in Japan. They almost look like claws protecting that jewel. Well, that's the... Yeah, absolutely investigating. That's the type of a grip on that anyway. It's called a claw thing or something.
You must examine it very carefully, Mr. Naruhodo. Very carefully indeed.
After these messages.
A claw mount, yeah. Actually, I'm just gonna vibe here, drink some water and vibe here. Hey guys. This is pretty wild. Man. Okay, but yeah, no, current theory, I don't think that Jigoku was the professor anymore. Now that is out the door. But, I do think... Either Clint Van Zieks was the professor or was part of it and knew about what was going on. I don't know, cause like, why would a Western sword be stabbed in him? I think? Yeah, that's what I think. I think that Clint Van Zieks was probably the professor. I don't know. Who would his target have been? Genshin Asuki? Maybe Barok Van Zieks? I don't know. It feels like it would have to be someone that he wouldn't want to kill. So. And that put an end to the professor. Because there was nothing else he could do. But. Actually, it probably was Barok Van Zieks. He was probably protecting him because, like, Asuki also protected Van Zieks at that time, and he kept quiet. Probably to keep him safe? There was something going on back there that would have put his life at risk, I think. And I think it tracks for him to protect the newer generation like that. So, I don't know. That's just my current going theory. Also, Iris's dad is one of them. Because, like, it has to be from the Professor case, come on. And, like, how many more British people in the Professor case were there? Yeah, I think that Barrack might have been the target. I don't know why he would have been a target, though. Which is the dad? Like, listen, we got a couple of options. It's not Wilson. We have discarded Wilson. Professor case, there is also Gregson and Clint Van Zieks. Barrack, I think, was too young. So... Or became a target because he became a prosecutor? I don't know, maybe. Maybe we're gonna find something else out that, like, maybe he was onto something, or, like, something like that. Or maybe, heck. Because we don't really know the circumstances beyond he was a prosecutor at the time. He had just become a prosecutor. So, I don't know why he would have been on a hit list at that point. It's a little weird. I'm sure we'll get more information when Van Zieks feels that it's relevant to actually talk about it. So, theoretically, we'll figure it out. Yeah. Also, a random question before the, well, I guess it's over now. But, random question. Do these, like, expressions, like, animations, is it better than what it used to be before the whatever update? Because now VTube Studio is giving me the option to go back to that, so, I don't know. I think this might be a little bit more expressive. So, I don't know. Maybe it's more entertaining to watch. Scrunch my face. I'm not chronically smiling. I did adjust it, but, like, before the chronically smiling thing, what was it? It looked a little weird? Oh, how so? Because, what was it? I did do a lot of adjusting. The eyes? Oh, yeah, that's because, so my camera's a little bit racist. When I squint my eyes a little bit, it closes the eyes because it can't recognize that my eyes are open. Can I cross my eyes? I can't. Oh, wait, can I? Did it work? I have no idea. But yeah, that's the reason why sometimes it blinks kind of weirdly, because like if I'm like, I personally, myself, I do like raise an eyebrow, I furrow an eyebrow, and when that happens, it makes one of my eyes blink. I might have to be a little bit more aware of that in the future. And I have to change my habits. Yeah, it's because it doesn't recognize when my, when I'm squinting or glaring or something. Because I do glare at the screen when they're being ridiculous. So sometimes it just doesn't work. I've been trying though. Well, we'll see. Oh, yeah, no, it's just lizard blinking. I'm just a lizard or something. But I do this because I want the, okay, I could link them. I could actually link them together so it's like always at the same time. But at the same time, I want the ability to wink, you know? Like, oh no. Like, wink. Wink wonk. There we go. I have to like change the angle of my face for it to work, but whatever I had before was fine. Okay, cool. Yeah, because I think the old one, like the old style, it like was no real in between. This one's a little bit more like I can actually do a little bit more with it. So it was a very slow like attempt at a wink. I'm like struggling. My eyes closed, by the way. It's trying. There we go. All right, I can wink in real life. I can do a pretty solid one. It's all in the eyebrows, by the way. If you wink with one eye and then raise the eyebrow of your other eye, looks good. Anyway, that's the trick. We got to examine evidence. Why do I know that? I don't know. Ring time! Time to ring the doorbell. You think this is also a key for some reason? Oh, had your phone confiscated. Hey, welcome in, welcome in. We are solving 10-year-old cases. You can only raise one eyebrow? I mean, then just only wink with that opposite eye. That's all you have to do. This one isn't really moving much, or at least it's very desynced. Oh, wait, really? Like, wait, the eyes, or? I will wait for the Twitch lag to catch up for you to answer that. The mouth. Oh, yeah, that's a little bit weird. It's a little finicky. I might have to do a little bit more adjusting with it. It can be a little bit too responsive at times. Actually, wait, hold on. Oh no, stop going forward. I'm opening up VTube Studio just to check a thing. Ah. So like, it's not opening as much? Or it's, oh, I wonder if the desync, does it have to do with OBS, actually? No, it doesn't. There is definitely a desync when it comes to VTube Studio. There is a little bit of a desync. I think I could fix that pretty easily by changing... Okay, I'll do that after stream. I have an idea of how to fix that. It's very, very, very slight, so it's not too bad of an adjustment. Anyway, I completely missed that first bit. Well, yes, if you were clumsy, you could give yourself a rather nasty cut on them, I should think. Ow. Now my finger's bleeding. The claws really are sharp.
Oh my, that was very quick clumsiness, Mr. Naruhodo, even for you.
Who would make such a dangerous ring? You couldn't swallow it without doing yourself some fairly serious damage, surely.
There was no internal damage! A sticky mochi bun of about that size would go down much better. With some—
Why is that in red? Why is that in red? Did someone hide the ring in food for him to eat?
with some red bean paste in the middle.
Someone as clumsy as me would probably manage to choke on it somehow. Oh boy, really? Is that the answer? There was no internal bleeding. Oh. Oh no. Hold on. Here we go.
This one.
Hello. Hi, I cut my finger on this just now. There's no way it didn't cut up his stomach. The court has heard that the ring was extracted from the victim's stomach. But you didn't actually see it being removed, did you, Professor Mikotoba? That's right. As I said in my testimony before, at that moment I was fetching a replacement scalpel that Dr. Wilson had requested. Oh, the want to play? Honestly, I feel like the Great Ace Attorney games have been my favorites of all the Ace Attorney games. The original trilogy is obviously also really good, but I really love it so much. Honestly, it's been so long since I played the originals, or I didn't even play it. I watched a playthrough. That was in my watching playthroughs of games era of my life. It's been so long that I don't remember a lot of key details. I could genuinely play it and probably react pretty, legitimately to it. It's been a very, very long time. Oh yeah, I think that they were. Shoot, yeah, I'll hold off on that then. Maybe I'll table that for the future at some point. I don't know. But maybe I shouldn't follow up this one with immediately back to Ace Attorney again, as much as I love it. Maybe Professor Layton or something. In other words, you can neither confirm nor deny whether this ring, in fact, really came from the victim's stomach or not. What are you suggesting, counsel? That the ring was never in the victim's stomach to begin with. It's entirely feasible that Dr. Wilson fabricated that detail about the autopsy. Oh. But what are you saying? That Dr. Wilson was in possession of the ring in advance, after it was somehow stolen from Mr. Asogi. And he produced it during the procedure, pretending to have found it there and then in the victim's stomach.
Objection!
Supposition at best. What possible evidence do you have to support such a rash claim? This evidence, right here. That's the autopsy report. It's explicit in that report, counsel. Other than the ring, nothing unusual was noted internally. So I'm not sure how you intend to prove your point. Was Wilson the professor? No, I don't think so, but I do think that he was involved because just like the Reaper is a multi-person organization, I think the professor was also that way. So he was in on it, I think. Oh yeah, welcome in, welcome in. We are certainly at a point. You've already done it for me, my lord. The lack of internal injury says it all. What? To swallow a ring of this size would require considerable effort and determination. And in addition to its size, there are the sharp claws around the gemstone to contend with. My brother was a determined man, and on the brink of death, even more so, I'm sure. He ate that rock. He would have stopped at nothing to ensure that evil killer was brought to justice. But if he didn't even know that an autopsy was possible or in the cards, why would he have eaten it? But if he really had swallowed that enormous ring... Who died? Clint Van Zieks. It's inconceivable that no traces of its passage down his throat would have remained as internal trauma. He would definitely eat glass. I saw him eat a light bulb one time. It was very cool. A party trick. How would you get a ring off the person that just stabbed you? I don't know. Hard work and determination, I guess. Just a stab wound in the heart and, yep, definitely still was alive and conscious enough to eat a ring. No.
And there you've arrived at the sticking point. As sticky as mochi, perhaps? I don't know why that was in red earlier. That's precisely why I had my doubts about the findings myself 10 years ago.
Then why didn't you say anything at the time?
I did. I still remember the conversation I had with Dr. Wilson in the laboratory that day. Look at this! Now this is a very curious thing to find in a man's stomach, wouldn't you say? But isn't that rather peculiar, Dr. Wilson? What's that now, Mikotoba? Well, if he swallowed a ring of that size with those sharp metal claws that it has, surely you'd expect to see damage to the throat and esophagus, torn mucous membranes at the very least. Shut up. Dr. Mikotoba, may I remind you that I have vastly more experience than you. I'm terribly sorry. I can think of plenty of ways to explain why no injuries could be seen, and I will tell you none of them. Now, let's say this. The victim would appear to have ingested the item as evidence to identify his assailant. Go ahead, write it down.
I know 5 different ways, and I'm gonna tell you none of them. So I was right. Dr. Wilson deliberately fabricated the results of the autopsy to implicate my father. He was Irish. Yep. I realized that after a point. And suffered in all of the accents that this game throws at me.
Oh, thank you for the sub. This Eastern Shootle. Thank you. Welcome into the chaos.
I'm disappointed, Counsel. That argument is nothing more than speculation.
Squeaky.
What?
Dr. Wilson was Britain's leading authority on forensic science and autopsy work. There was no scientific basis on which to doubt the man's expert opinion,
Except the fact that he was working under you! We're accusing you!
Pardon the interruption, my lord, but damage to the mucous membranes of the throat is easily identified, even in living subjects.
Using a device called an endoscope, recently demonstrated in practical use in France. I want one. The government can pay.
Let's go, Gory.
I don't think so. And Dr. Gory, rest assured that your removal of evidence from the stores without permission will not go unpunished.
You can't punish everybody! Stab him. I will encourage this one. Stab him.
We open up the dead to find the truth.
Oh? Integrity. We found it. Huh?
I beg your pardon.
But Mama, she chose to stitch the corpses up with all her secrets inside.
Oh?
That's wrong.
Oh?
Dr. Gory, it's looking as though she's chosen to walk a different path to her mama.
Oh, her hair looks like a little bow in the back. That's cute. Ah!
Yes, the ring.
What about the ring?
I've just remembered something. An earlier incident.
What incident? Am I right? Is it where Asogi protected him from like a bunch of like people, random assailants?
The one I recounted to you before, about a memory I have. It is of Genshin Asogi saving my life.
What? My father saved your life! Ooh, Cosmo's definitely thinking, then why did you kill him?
Or as far as he's concerned. It was 10 years ago, on a foggy night. Genshin and I were walking down some back streets at a late hour. All of a sudden, Cosmo's going through it.
Don't make a peep, you come with us.
All of our assailants were armed with pistols, their faces obscured by scarves.
You can see the ring on his hand right now. I thought that would become important at some point.
The next thing I knew, there was silence all around. Genshin lay on the cobbled street, Blood was seeping from his left hand. It shielded me. Left hand. That's where the ring was. Did they? It was on the ring finger of his left hand, and he used to wear that ring. Are you saying... I've always believed those thugs were after me. But now, I'm starting to question if perhaps I wasn't the intended target after all. Wait, but... Genshin was arrested 2 days after that attack. And in that short interval, the decisive evidence needed to indict him was miraculously found. You mean the ring was stolen from him? You think that's what those thugs were after that night? There we go.
Objection!
Wait, Kazuma, what?
Oh, he's going through it right now.
You pathetic coward! You expect me to believe that you weren't involved?
What do you mean by that?
It was you, wasn't it? You're the one who took it. You stole my father's ring. You set the whole thing up so you could paint him as a mass murderer and have him arrest.
Kazuma. Open your eyes.
Ryunosuke.
You must know deep down. The truth can be completely obscured even when your judgment is only slightly clouded. But at the moment, you seem to be floundering through a dense fog. Is that why you were so insistent I should be present in this trial? To see you like this.
Oh, man! Man!
Oh, don't interject in this! Well, this is an amusing spectacle. What a grandiose expression on your face. As if you were Lady Justice herself. It seems you've thoroughly convinced yourself of this alleged fabrication of the autopsy results. So much so that you're apparently blind to the blatant contradiction that would be born out of it. What? Though it's extremely hard to believe, let us imagine that there was some misconduct during the autopsy. If that were the case, why would Asugi not have disputed the findings in his trial?
Because he was protecting someone.
Oh. In the closed court hearing 10 years ago, the defendant never once denied the claims against him. Isn't that right, Lord Van Seeks? Yes, that is indeed correct. Upon hearing the verdict of guilty, he merely closed his eyes, quietly accepting the judgment. The actions of a man who has accepted responsibility for his deeds and is resigned to his fate. But then...
Oh my, that is very strange.
But do you have evidence for why he would have, you know... I don't know, it's just... It feels like speculation a little bit. To be like, oh, well, he admitted to it, so obviously he did it. It's not really a contradiction necessarily.
If Mr. Asuki did nothing to oppose the charges against him, then... that would surely mean there was no fabricated evidence, or there was something else there.
An obvious conclusion at which you should have arrived many minutes ago, Prosecutor Asugi. Your twisted loyalty and clouded judgment are hampering your ability for logical thought. Genshin Asugi's silence at his hearing can mean only one thing: that you threatened him into silence! There was no fabrication of evidence during the autopsy of his final victim 10 years ago.
Sholmes! I'm pressing the phone a friend!
But if that autopsy was all above board, there'll be nothing to stop Lord Strongheart bringing this trial to an immediate conclusion.
Cosmo, please, please, please. Oh, buddy. Please have something. Don't lose. Okay. 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 Okay, I think he's thought this through. Thank you, Ryunosuke. If it wasn't for your frank words just now, this trial may very well have ended prematurely. Kazuma? What's this latest absurdity, Counsel? My lord, your reasoning is perfectly sound, but for one giant hole. I beg your pardon. You claim my father's silence was due to the fact that there was no fabricated evidence. But there's another possible explanation. You've overlooked the possibility that he had a reason for maintaining that silence.
Objection!
Oh man, they just like, wow, my brain just went Ichan, which is not, it's the correct word. Inherited the bad back. It runs in the family. There we go. Silence that would lead to him being convicted and sent to his death. And if the autopsy results were an invention, there's no conceivable reason why the man wouldn't have protested.
Objection!
Oh, those results were an invention, all right. There's no question of that. Or are you forgetting that 2 people with a connection to the autopsy have been assassinated? And you're being framed, and I'm about to... Anyway. If I force the grievances I feel from my mind, I start to see you in a very different light. Let's go! He's seeing clearly. I think perhaps it's you who's been living in delusion these 10 years. Me.
Kazuma-sama has created one last chance for us here, Mr. Naruhodo. If we can only show there was a reason for his father's silence in his trial.
A reason why the man would have said nothing, even though he was innocent. Could it have been part of some negotiation, perhaps?
Enough rhetoric.
The court must be shown evidence. What proof do you have that could possibly explain Asugi's silence in court?
Where is the letter that he wrote?
Hereby request that upon my death, any and all material possessions and wealth belonging to me in London be delivered to my son Kazuma Asugi in the Empire of Japan. It is with deep sadness that I accept my fate in this foreign land in the knowledge that I will never see my homeland or family again, but I regret nothing about my chosen path.
It's not the armband!
I think it's this. Personally, I think it's this. What proof? Like... I regret nothing. I don't know. That probably can hint at it. It's not explicit. Described it as the only weapon I have left.
Take that!
Is it that? Maybe it's not that yet. This. Okay, it is not this yet, but it will get there eventually. This is defense's answer. It's not the answer. As I indicated before, my patience for rhetoric is growing thin. Okay, fine. Could have at least accompanied that penalty with an explanation of why that answer was wrong.
If Kazuma-sama's father knew that the evidence being used to convict him was fabricated, why would he have said nothing in his trial?
He was being threatened. If it were me, I'd have protested my innocence until I was blue in the face.
So if we're right about the autopsy results, there must have been a strong reason for his silence.
Well, then, perhaps. He was saying nothing in exchange for some sort of clemency? Oh, that could be it. Oh yeah, also because he was going to be, like, smuggled out, theoretically. Okay. Defense would like to... Enough rhetoric. The court must be shown evidence. Okay. I thought he was gonna... Okay, professor-related stuff. I wish I could sort my evidence. These are not professor-related. Or... It might be this one, because, the clemency is him getting out. Potentially. This is later. He's not in this one. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna present this, potentially, because he wasn't going to die, and he might have known that? Potentially. That's the wrong button, again.
Take that!
Is it? It's true that Genshin Asugi's silence during his trial resulted in his conviction. But that didn't actually lead to his execution. On the contrary, it led to his escape. An escape that was only possible because he'd been sentenced to death. Although I find it hard to believe my father would have negotiated in that way, the defense is correct. A fake execution, falsification of a death certificate, and a jailbreak inside a coffin. Clearly, such an elaborate plan couldn't have been carried out by my father alone. He must have had the help of a collaborator from the judiciary. I have here the dismissal notice of the chief warder who was working in the prison at the time. The notes read, "There are indications that the jailbreak was in planning prior to the inmate's incarceration." In other words, there were suggestions of some sort of negotiation between Mr. Asugi and the British government. In exchange for his silence in court, he was given an assurance that he would be broken out of prison. Yes, with that sort of clandestine agreement in place, I can imagine he would have kept very quiet. I would go further than that, in fact. I would say that the elaborate jailbreak of Mr. Asugi can be explained in no other way. Hora! Hora! First fabricated evidence and now a jailbreak conspiracy. Of course, because it's all intimately linked. The prosecution wishes to summon new witnesses to the stand. Witnesses. No. No, I don't make me do the accent again! No! People who can testify about the jailbreak that took place 10 years ago. I don't think I have enough time for that. I feel like there's still several hours left.
Governor Caden and the poor chief warder of the prison.
I won't allow this trial to turn into a farce. Just summon the governor of the prison after all these years. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Oh, it wouldn't be any trouble, my lord. Did Sholmes bring them? Please, please tell me that Sholmes brought them. What?
Father?
My dear friend may appear a little rattle-pated at times, but I can assure you he is extremely thorough. Yes! Yay! Sholmes, let's go! He wired both Barclay and the local prison earlier, asking Governor Caden and Mr. Vigil to attend the Old Bailey as a matter of extreme urgency. Mr. Sholmes did that. We don't even need to phone a friend yet! Are you telling me that? Both men are, unless I'm much mistaken, waiting just outside the courtroom at this very moment. Yes, Sholmes! Oh, I love him. He's so great. My lord, you must permit this trial to proceed as you declared at its outset. You promised that we would stop at nothing to uncover the whole truth behind these disturbing findings. Very well. Bring in the witnesses. Make no mistake, I too would like nothing more than to lay this business to rest once and for all. Sholmes has been planning for 10 friggin' years. He's ready. Cackling as he plays card after card, like, oh, you've activated my trap card, and this other trap card, and this other one. Ha ha ha. Okay, I do think, though, that this is a good spot to stop. So, I believe this is the end for now. Since I imagine that there's still several hours left. Question, though. Do you think I can reasonably finish this on one more stream? Or is it gonna take another 2? Because, like, it's hard to tell and gauge just because sometimes it feels like you're narrowing in and then they pull something else out of their ass or something. The final. It's hard to tell? Okay. So, for the time being, I mean, I think that it's probably safe to say that it's probably gonna be continuing on then. 4-hour stream? Maybe? Maybe. If that's the case, if I go beyond time, okay. I might be able to finish up like the main plot on Wednesday then, and then on Friday I can do like the smaller like little things. You know? That could work. If I have too much time after that though, then I don't know. Theoretically I have a hard cutoff on Friday, so if I don't know. We'll see how that goes. We're very close though. So, let's see who I can raid. Oh, let me switch to end screen. Let's see who I can go raid. Oh, you know what? Speaking of, Scylla is streaming currently. Not Ace Attorney currently, but, you know, seems fitting enough. Probably be 2 more? Honestly, I think that's a fair bet, and that's well timed. I have to figure something out for next time. I'm sure I'll discuss it on Friday a little bit more. Regardless, thank you guys for hanging out, and I'll be back on Wednesday, same time, same place. It's gonna be fun. Man, I'm still gonna be brain rotting about this. It's such a good game. Okay, let me start this raid. I didn't realize that I didn't start it yet. Anyway. Wee! Getting ready to yeet, you guys. But yeah. I think I've said that all that I need to say. So don't eat. No, I'm not gonna eat you. I'm gonna yeet. You know, the great yeetening, the yotening. I've got a decently strong. No, I don't. I don't have a strong throwing arm. That's a lie. I am not buff like all of the characters in this game are apparently. But yeah. So I'm gonna send you guys over. Thank you guys again, and okay. If I start dreaming about this game, then we're gonna have issues. Well, I'm not gonna admit to end. No, I'm not gonna. No. Alrighty, take care, you guys. Bye bye. I'm not gonna admit to anything. You can't make me. Something psych luck joke. Bye. Take care.